I just want to say, it's 8 o'clock. Cody, are you happy now that I'm streaming? Bugs me 5 minutes prior, asking me why I'm going to be starting. Very. All right. Well, today on Panda's Arena, we are going to do something a little bit different. We are not going to be talking about any teams today. We are actually going to go over different helmets, different types of armor, and I need to turn my phone off. Not off, just muted. Different types of armors, different types of weapons. Today I have Tyler Schwartz joining me. The reason we're not doing any teams today, there was a tournament out in Carolina called Carolina Carnage that we had 4 people from Iowa fight at. Risa went out to support. Zach Curtis went and fought with the Wyverns. Ashley Kaylee and Avery from Dominus Vindicta went and fought with Steel Coven out at Carnage. We will talk a little bit more about that later on, unless Schwartz wants to talk about that now.
Sure, I can talk about it now.
Okay.
Also, do the screen share, bud.
Oh, fuck you.
All I can see is my face. It's weird.
I think
Yeah.
I lost something. I don't think I can do that. Oh. I think that's what I need to do. But I don't know if I lost Schwartz. Can you still hear me, Schwartz? Tyler? Alright, well, I cannot hear you. I think I fucked something up. I hate when I do this. Return the app. Bear with me for just a second. No. You can hear me, but yeah. That's the weird thing when I try to share my screen. If I don't share my screen, I believe things work. But I could be wrong. Nope. I might have to... Hold on. No. I think I literally froze my computer. Nope, there we go. Okay. I just had to restart my camera. Pop out. Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird, Schwartz, that... How did we do it earlier?
This way. You shared the screen and then it popped up.
Yeah, but now it just wants to act weird. And, like, now I can't hear you. You hear me now?
Why are you messing with your sound settings?
Huh?
I said, why are you messing with your sound settings?
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm trying to share my screen, and as soon as I do that, it lags and freezes everything up. which I find it funny. We were able to do it earlier today, just fine, but now we're unable to. It's not liking this.
Then just don't share my screen. Just do audio.
All right. Well,
They don't need to see my face.
can you see what I'm see? Can you still see?
Yeah, I can watch on Discord, but if you're not sharing my face, then I don't care.
Well, I think I
just
got
open
it
it up on my
working
phone.
now.
Well, go for it.
I didn't add your face to this. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, God. I gotta adjust it a little bit. So, there's Schwartz's face.
Hey, my face is there.
It is, which I might have to adjust that here because...
You just blacked out your screen?
Huh?
You just blacked out your screen?
No. The way I have you is different than how it originally was. So it's altered.
I'm looking on Twitch, bud.
Okay. I haven't
Take me
put
off the screen. It's
I haven't-
causing problems.
I haven't put any pictures up yet. So, did you want to which do you want to talk about, the melees or the duels or just what first about Carnage?
In general.
In
I
general?
was saying before you backed out and disappeared and like all the technical stuffs. So my beer league team that I fight with most of the time is Colorado Wardens. I've gone out there and coached them quite a few times, and I have some of the fighters on there are like family. Like Shoshana was one of my bridesmaids. Greg and I have become very, very close just being able to help out, and I enjoy training and fighting with them. I was going to go fight with them for this, and then Executioners didn't go, so my spots got replaced by Executioners, which is 100% fair. Ringo and Durante did really, really good. And then I had Jeremiah on, Iron Legion, and then technically Santos with his War Pigs, and then your two guys. So it was nice seeing a bunch of the Chimera fighters come out and be there, even though they're not all photos in there, and the Dominus Vindictus ladies, because I will funnel every single one of my female fighters over to your guys' team for that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was so nice actually watching just all women's fight. And
Women's fives.
Women's
Holy
fives.
crap.
Yeah, which is very rare. A lot of times you just mostly see threes.
Threes, which are dumb. But this was a women's five where people were actually swinging and actually doing good techniques, and like, holy shit, they were putting in the work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Kaylee was throwing bitches around like nothing.
Yeah, Kaylee, very impressed.
Was swinging for the fences. That shit, oh my god, I was a very happy coach. I was a very, very happy coach watching it.
Yeah.
I know they didn't win, but they won against a couple people who were out of their league, like Celeste, number 13 on the Black Dabber team.
Oh. Yeah. Why can I not
Celeste was getting 3 takedowns in a round consistently. She was a level above everybody else. It was ridiculous to watch, to the point where they had to start locking her down to win.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
And that was just awesome to see. And then on the dual side, a bunch of my guys took medals home. Ben Splitter, Greg Fisher, Shoshana, and Ashley.
Yeah.
So four know the people that I fight with on a regular basis. Not on my team. Are coming home with medals no matter what the melee rankings are, which just makes me very happy.
Yeah. Ashley came.
And they all deserved it.
Yeah. So, we only had 2 people do melees from our area. So we had Kaylee do sword and buckler, and she doesn't look too happy in this picture. But Kaylee is one of the people who gets in her own head quite a bit. Once she breaks that, she is a very, very good duelist. And in this, she was doing sword and buckler.
I think she got robbed on a round or 2.
Yeah.
And there was a couple where I think they called them a flat shot, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with sword and buckler. If you don't hard block it, and I will probably next time she goes to sword and buckler tournament, I think I'm going to give her my wooden buckler because it's less likely to get called.
Pretty sure
she
that's
has a wooden one.
I'm pretty sure the one that she has now is wooden.
Okay, good.
I think
Good.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some of the calls were weird, and I know sword and buckler is probably the hardest duel to gauge properly. Just because it's first to 5, you have to know when you're done.
Yeah.
And it's its own beast.
It is.
But,
and this was also Kaylee's first national big event.
Yeah.
And, winning 2 and losing 2 to some of the good people who have been doing sword and buckler.
Did she get 3rd then?
I think 4th.
Oh, shit. Well, it's fair. No, it's
But
it sucks, but you know what? She's going to come back next time, and we'll be able to watch the videos. Her fight videos were actually done really, really well. The camera person for the women's duels
was
really good.
Ace something. I was watching them while I was at work, and I'm like, hey,
yeah,
at least
it was the one on the.
It's actually the one that's in the picture on the opposite side. But I don't know who that is. They're from California.
I don't know either. But she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And really stayed on top of the action, which is going to make it so much easier for us to review shit.
Yeah. And it made for people like myself and other people who were working and couldn't watch it. She did a decent job commentating it, letting us know what was going on, who scored points, things like that.
The other duels were kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah. 3
streaming platforms for one event, all different camera angles, all different quality. It made me scared for the melees today. And then when the melees came up for YouTube, second best event for video broadcasting. I think the best event for video announcing that we've had in years.
Yeah. I was watching a little with my dad earlier, and my dad wasn't a big fan of the commentating on it, but, to each their own.
Every time it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Some of it was they were filling, but Nate knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
They recalled the replays, which, holy crap, that got a highlight reel.
Yep.
Ashley got a highlight reel.
Yep.
And Kaylee got a highlight reel.
Yeah.
And Avery got a highlight reel.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah became 2 guys' highlight reels.
Oh.
I love him to death. I really, really do. The big boy got away from the list, and he's dealing with a very old kid. And we're retiring 90% of his shit after this event.
Yeah.
And yeah, he got caught on his own feet and got thrown to the ground.
Yeah. And then we had Ashley do polearm, which holy shit. like her first round.
I want her to train more.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, the first round she was like very hesitant on wanting to throw shots. And like even the person who was watching the videos was like, "Oh, this person like throwing shots. They just need to throw them and, recover, and not have to pull your shots every time you don't think you're going to hit." But after the first round, there was a massive difference in the way Ashley fought the next few fighters, because holy shit, was she just throwing shots at their stomachs.
Yeah.
It was it was crazy.
There's always things to improve, for sure. But she has the hardest thing to actually learn is, how do I beat someone like I'm splitting a log? It is the hardest thing to teach someone. It's the hardest thing for people to really click that, no, they signed up. They signed the death waiver. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to break their ribs if I need to. I'm getting past that mental block. Super, super fine. And I think that's really what that first round was just a mental block.
Yeah, and that was her first time polearm fighting. Like, actual tournament polearm fighting someone.
Polearm.
Huh?
That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The volts that she was using.
That
I
shit
want to get her a
hell.
glaive. I don't even know it is. I remember it.
Yeah. But,
we need to get her a melee polearm, and I got a couple guys that would love to run some numbers with her. Like Ian Webb.
Yeah.
The polearm duelist out in Colorado. He wants to see the polearm group grow. Mm-hmm. I know if we can get him down, he'll do some one-on-one with her without even thinking about it, to like get those minute techniques, how to throwing shots and still having a guard.
Yeah.
Because she threw her shots faster, which won her so many rounds. But she was eating shots into my helmet.
Yes. And speaking of helmets, she actually wore a kit that looked like it actually fit her for I think the first time I've ever seen her in armor.
I know. I'm jealous.
Like, chest piece actually fit. Arms, legs actually fit.
Everything.
Helmet fit. Chest piece. Like, I actually had to be like, is that Ashley?
Yeah.
I had to do like a double take.
I mean, you can see it, the kicks and stuff, and the leg kicks. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just blasting away during the melees. Like, you could see that she wasn't restricted anymore, which that's probably thankful to them replacing the all the straps on it, because those are way too short 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks ago, whenever they came into Omaha last.
Mm-hmm. And,
I had to struggle to get the first hole.
Ashley, she had taken third in polearm.
Now she just has to get gold.
Yeah.
Or she can do what I do, and you get silver, or you get bronze, then you have to get silver, then you have to get silver, and then you have to get silver, and you hate your life, and hopefully one day you get gold.
Yeah. And, like we were talking earlier, we had four women from Dominus Vindicta out at Carnage.
Yeah.
Three of them fought for Steel Coven. But Risa being out there for support, I wouldn't imagine how well they would have done without her. Because, like, holy shit.
No, you need good support.
Yeah.
I know Zach did good support. He always does.
Yeah.
He supports his team when he's not in armor.
Yeah.
When he's in armor, he supports his team. It's ridiculous.
And Kaylee did an amazing job. Ashley, Avery, all three of them did an amazing job out in the list.
I was very pleasantly surprised with all of their performances.
Yeah.
It really shows that if you train with everybody, you're going to be a better fighter, because you're going to expect things that are going to come down.
Yeah.
And like some of the head rips still worked on Ashley, and
she stayed up a lot longer though too.
Oh God,
which
yeah.
was very impressive because she's
Yeah.
used to men doing that to her.
Yep.
And Kaylee's used to being thrown around by men.
Yeah, I think hers are really the only way they got her was like someone was starting to throw her or like drag her away, and then they heel kicked her.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, your feet are no longer underneath you. Shit kind of sucks. And then, like, watching Avery, holy shit.
Dude, her
That was
ducking her head out of some of those head rips. I was like, oh, Avery's down. I'm like, wait, no, she's still up. Good. Nice.
Yeah, she tucked him. Even in a kit that she adamantly says is built for duels, and I don't disagree with her. She was taking punishment in the corner.
Yeah.
By some of the heavier hitters on the other teams. Not even just like the ones that I'm like, okay, you're like throwing a 50% shot, maybe. Like against Celeste. Celeste was burying shots into her leg. I'm like, oh, okay, have fun. And just being able to walk them off or maintain having two people controlled for a little bit, that's worlds better than where she was at 6 months ago. And it's clearly showing that everything's starting to click.
Yeah.
And now we have to get her an all new. Like, we're going to start replacing little bits of armor here and there.
Yeah. And, even with Kaylee and Ashley, a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
But.
Now, let's talk about Curtis and Zach.
Oh, God.
Holy shit, they got dicked. The hardest bracket to start in. You had 3 of the top teams in your bracket. Like, holy crap. Dominus, Warlords, and White Company. Have a good day. Like,
did they fight Warlords?
Yes.
I didn't think they fought the Warlords.
Did they fight Warlords? Who was the other? They had 3. They had 3.
They had War Pigs.
Oh, it was War Pigs. My bad.
Okay.
So yeah, War Pigs, Dominus, and White Company, all in the same bracket, which shouldn't happen, but it does every once in a while, and then you get really unlucky. But even against really good teams, like they were holding up in places that I didn't think they could hold up.
Yeah.
Against Dominus and White Company, and taking abuse against the War Pigs, and getting a couple good throws, like really good throws against the War Pigs.
Oh yeah.
So seeing that, even though they didn't have a team behind them that they have fought with consistently, and they fought against the Wyverns 1,000 times.
Yeah. So we knew the Wyverns. We knew who was going out there. We've known them for years, and fought with them and against them at demos and stuff like that. So we had a base understanding of how they fought.
Yeah, general tactics, and it makes it easier at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But not having your guys next to you, it was clear to see that the teams that did better were guys that can train consistently together, even if it's just minor stuff. So I'm excited to see where New Order will be next year. I'm excited to see where Chimeras are going to be next year, especially with like most of our guys not being in the same city. But I know like Santos is planning on coming out here in the summer. I'm getting Ted to come on back up for that same weekend. So when Santos comes out, I'm actually probably going to build up an entire Chimeras team to come run a tester, just for shits and giggles.
Hell yeah.
And see if we can get all the little kinks knocked out. But study your teammates as much as you study your opponents, and it really does help. Like the difference between not knowing and knowing how someone is going to react, or like, are they just going to run away? Are you going to lock up 2 people? And like Ben Splitter did that. I think it was Spencer Waddell is who he was with. So they had 2 two-headed axe fighters on one rail, on the near rail.
Yeah.
And they ran in, and Ben got both of them. like locked them both up, slammed his back into the rail, and was just holding them. Well, so Spencer says, "Cool, I'm gonna fuck off," and runs away. Takes out their center, comes back, goes, "I think you got this, bud." Runs away again, goes and helps out the other rail, and those two guys decided they wanted to try to throw Ben. And Ben, he did suicide, but he ripped both of them down with him.
Yeah.
He just locked in and let them both throw each other.
Which is very impressive.
For a fighter that's been fighting for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Also,
he medaled in his category, and he and he's doing moves that I didn't think he could do. I think he's gonna be fighting like Mikey here shortly. They're built the same way.
Yeah. I didn't forget about you, Hannah. Hi, I do see your comment there.
There's a Hannah?
It's one of the people that I play D&D with on Sundays. So yeah, so we're going to start with helmets. What helmets do you want to start with?
I am okay with starting with the ones that I know the best. The one that you have pulled up is actually the right one. Because what I'll do is I will fix the lighting so it doesn't look like dog shit.
Yeah. Well, they don't know which one I have pulled up.
I know. I'm grabbing it, though. So first one we're going to go with, because I have mine, and I have the photo of it with it matching mine and my wife's before I blackened it, because I like how it looks. It looks all gray and pretty, and I put brass on it. The nasal. It used to be the most common helmet in this sport. Probably about 4 years ago.
Oops.
And I've been fighting going on for 9 years in August. So this is what I grew up knowing. Hey, I like it. It's safe, and I can breathe, and I can see. And I really can, because there's not really much stopping me. There's a cage behind there that is why it's kind of holding straight out in the front. To protect this from hitting my face by a football cage. But other than that, nothing. And I love it. I would say it is second only to the wolf rib. And the wolf rib is very optimized and very hard to document. And I don't like new people wearing it because it's scary if you don't know how to move your head properly. For this one, it's super hard to stick something in these eye holes because there is a bar.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. You should be able to see it on the photo better than you can see it on the one in my hands. But that stops 90% of things coming in my helmet. I'd say the smaller things still can. Arming swords have a potential, long swords have a potential of still getting in your helmet, but nothing like a wolf rib does. And that is, it's a bassinet from the late 14th century and early 15th. You can find it in like 1410. And then if you want to go really far back, there are other styles of nasals that go all the way back to like the 9th century, where you're going like the Spangenhelm and stuff. But this is my recommendation for all new fighters.
Yeah.
As long as you can get a good one made.
I've never actually fought in a nasal. I've always thought nasals were kind of ugly.
Oh, it's uglier than sin, but I don't care.
You know, and there's also multiple different variations of nasals too.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Russian style nasal, which is what my helmet is. Mine was made by a gentleman named Anatoly, who is a Ukrainian that lives in Moscow. He is currently stuck in Moscow.
Yeah.
Has been the entire war. But he learned how to make his helmets from Peter Poyak. The armor of Tabor is Tabor Armory now. Used to be Armscovia, who made my first helmet.
Gotcha.
But actually, technically, he made my second helmet. Which I still use today.
Which, you know, I do kind of like this nasal and the other one, but, you know, I don't know how how I feel about them.
The Ukrainian style I hate. The one that you'll get from like Medieval Extreme, Buhurt Tech, and a couple
Like
other
this.
guys.
This one I'm not the biggest fan of. It's got the
See,
cross on the front.
Yeah, that's not a nasal. That's an English cross.
Yeah.
They're a little bit different. The maintenance also sucks a lot more because you have to unrivet your chainmail to clean that helmet up completely and properly, or you have to depin the cross, so you have to drill it out.
Why is what so wide, Hannah? Haha, no, why so wide? I guess I don't understand what Hannah's trying to ask.
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
But chainmail breaks down. It's expensive to try to get it all fixed up. I'm really glad I ended up finding I found a new supplier for riveted chainmail, riveted 9mm, and it's about $35 a Aventail instead of like $100. So it makes me like nasals a whole lot more.
Yeah. Is that the same person Zach's talking to? Potentially?
No, Zach is talking to me. I ordered one for him.
Okay. Because I was say Zach was talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I ordered 2 sets. I'm sending one to Josh, and I'm sending one to Zach, because Zach said he needs one. I said, cool, I'll send it to you, bud. And then Josh is the gentleman that's going to be making our new hardened helmets. And the only thing stopping him from making nasals was the chainmail supply, because we couldn't find a good, reasonable way of doing it without getting a good supplier. So we're going to test those out, make sure that they're to the same standard as the ones that are about $70.
Yeah. So Hannah wants to know what's better, this or the nasal? And realistically, they're almost the same except for just how the nose is. Realistically.
Yeah. So the helmet that's up there is one of my old teammates, Brandon. He bought that from the same exact guy I bought my nasal from. I don't like them. And the reason why I don't like English crosses as much as I like nasals is when my chainmail starts getting fucked up, all I have to do is stitch it onto the eye bars with some wax linen, and it's done. I don't have to think about anything else. I stitch it up back together, and it's good. When the chainmail starts to fail on an English cross, you have to learn how to rivet chainmail. And I know how to do it, and it sucks. And you cannot pay me enough money to fix that.
Yeah. No, and funny enough, Hannah, this can sit out far enough where you could have like an inch or two of the cage. Yeah, of the cage away from your nose.
He's got about an inch and a half away from his nose. And we just did the Ursa style chin strap, that bucket chin strap in it. I physically cannot push it onto his head, like onto his face. I just stocked him in the chin, so where that drop ring is, to make sure that it didn't like come in on him, and just pushed on it. Never bottomed out. But my helmet does the same thing. It's just a personal preference. Some people don't like the nose. Like, I can understand it. Some of those nasals look uglier than sin.
Yep.
They have like a Squidward nose going on. But if any good helmet is going to fit you well, if it fits you well and you know what the maintenance is going into it, I think they're pretty comparable. And the structural supports behind the chainmail on an English cross are actually more sturdy than a nasal, because mine has outside protection, where that one has 2 bars running around on the inside of the cage to replace the nose.
Yeah, and not a problem, Hannah. And realistically, that's why I do this, and I bring, if I don't know something specific about something, I bring somebody on to talk more about it. And I know a lot of the guys.
Documentation.
Yeah. You know, like a lot of the guys that I would have had, who would have joined us, are at a tournament this weekend, and I don't want to bother them because they just got done fighting all day. Swartz, I know, is sitting at home not doing shit, so I'm like, hey.
I'm sad I'm not at Carnage. Damn it.
I know, me too.
I had to work. Jeremiah offered me a free ride, and I had a team I could have gone and fought with, but I signed a contract that's gonna make me about an extra $40,000 a year. So
Nice.
I think staying home was a good idea.
Eh.
Yeah, covering all of my household bills without having to think about it while still working my insurance job. I'm okay with this.
Fair.
And I don't have to worry about time off.
So I guess that's another question. How many people do you know that have diabetes and has a pump that does this?
Ooh, good question. I think 2, and they both opt to remove it. It's
Did I lose Swartz?
you can hide it. Go take care of diabetics that had pumps and like Dexcoms and stuff. You can move it to some weird spots, but there's no spot on your body that you could move your pump to where it would be guaranteed safe. And so I would never recommend fighting with the pump on. I've seen people fight in the SCA with a Dexcom on, but they basically made a rigid housing to go underneath their rear brace. So they made concussion padding with a Kydex shape, like a heat sink Kydex pad. So they had a hidden rear brace to go underneath their actual rear brace that had concussion padding around it and a little bit on top. And it's underneath that and a shoulder. So theoretically, that's safer. Even then, you're fighting with medical equipment on. It's not a good idea. Unless maybe you're doing only duals and you put the pump on your back.
Yeah.
Like in the small of your back. I'd say that is the only way I think I would feel safe with you wearing one if I was your captain. Because I don't know how hard it'd be to remove a broken Dexcom, which has, what is it, like 28 gauge needle it's just the lead. But you'll have a metal lead in your arm. Yeah, I would stay away from it unless you could find a way of protecting it or removing it. Okay, I think those ones are good.
Yeah.
Since we talked about the Buhurt, do you want to bring that one up?
She said it's a titanium filament. Once
Is it
inserted,
titanium?
it cannot come out. Thank you very much for your responses.
The Dexcom lead, I hope it comes out, but it's only supposed to come out when you pull it out. I just don't want it to break.
For 10 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We switched up one of my patients every week. It was every Monday. Monday before he had to go to work, I switched it out. That was a Dexcom
cannot
5.
be reinserted. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I would say pull off what you can, and it'll make your life a little bit easier. If you can fight without the pump and you're willing to stab your finger to check your blood sugar for a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say her pump goes off during D&D, and we're like, Hannah, you alive? You dying? She's like, I'm good. And then we hear a smoke detector go off.
My dad had a heart transplant, right?
Do what?
You mean my dad had a heart transplant, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So there is a device called an LVAD, a left ventricle assist device. And it is literally a motor that is attached to your heart that runs all your blood for you. And you have a port coming out your side and then you're run by two big ass lithium ion batteries. It is so fucking loud when your battery warning goes off. And I mean, you can hear it across an entire house without even thinking about it.
Damn.
Or if he disconnects one and he's talking to you and he doesn't put a new one in quick enough, it's like the oh shit alarm's going off.
Right.
It could wake me up in a dead sleep.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Chirp. Fire detector. Must be holding a tube.
I do.
All right, so going on to Wolf Rib now, which is kind of a little similar, but different.
Yeah, it's so this is another classification of an open-faced bassinet. An open face is a very fucking loose term.
Yes.
So historically, this had a 5-bar cage that would flip down instead of like a clap visor, and that's it. We've made it a little bit safer. We riveted on the side, and we added 1 eye bar for HMB, 2 or 3 for IMCF. And they're interesting. They are arguably the best helmet for the sport. Best visibility, best breathing. I can get water to you super quickly. I can shove a straw straight in your helmet without even having to think about it. But one of the drawbacks is shit can enter your helmet.
Oh.
I've seen longswords come in. I've seen arming swords come in. There was a gentleman years and years ago, I believe, on the Finnish team that actually has plexiglass in his helmet now because he had a 1-bar wolf rib and he took a 2-handed axe straight in the eye slot, split his brow open. He thought he was going to go blind.
Oh.
And now he has basically goggles hard mounted in his helmet that are bulletproof.
Kind of like how like ice hockey players have.
Exactly.
Huh.
He didn't want to take a face shot again.
No.
I didn't blame him. The video was very scary because he had a chest-mounted GoPro.
Oh.
And half a second later, you see the shot come in, and then it's just covered in blood.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, your face bleeds a lot.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to see photos, go pull up my Instagram.
I'll look at that later.
It's bad.
Hannah, what do you mean by does he make these helmets? Between Sports and I, we do not make helmets. We have a buddy potentially in Mexico, Missouri that is going to start making helmets. There are actually a couple of helmets. Some of these helmets a lot of these that we've shown so far have been made overseas.
All of them have been.
Yeah, okay. All of them that I've shown so far have been made overseas, Ukraine. I want to say for the most part.
Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah. There's a couple helmets in here that are made from a guy in Mexico, which we will show later. You know, yes, they are very talented.
The only thing I do with helping of making making helmets and armor currently is I help do the design work for CAD files because I have a lot of experience doing it. I've designed weapons for Canadian Buhurt, the American Buhurt shop too. I gave Matt a whole bunch of designs for two-handed falchions, and he has taken those patterns and made them a shit ton better. And then I've tried to give Josh my helmet patterns to go make bassinets. The files got corrupted, so we're redesigning them, and he should be making those shortly. I sent him the basic file instead of the CAD file, so he should be able to get them all started. But no, conceptually, I know how to make them. I know how to weld. I know how to shape them. I do not trust myself enough. I would retire from the sport in a heartbeat if I had a helmet grenade, which I've seen happen. I would not be fighting anymore. I would feel too goddamn bad about it. So I cannot put myself behind making a helmet. Now, armor? Fuck yeah, I'll make armor. Jeremiah is wearing some stuff that I made. He's wearing like arm cannons that I made for him.
Yeah?
And like I've made hip plates. Yeah, his rear braces are mine.
Yeah?
I made those with Josh a couple years back. They were just sitting in my garage. They were extra.
You know who
I have a
else is
set of
wearing
band
shit you've
braces.
made?
Huh?
You know who else is wearing shit you made?
Oh yeah, you're wearing stuff I made.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of the stuff that I made for you though.
I don't
I'm
think
proud of
anybody
the
is.
stuff I made for Jeremiah.
Yeah. But no.
That was 8. We made the stuff that you're wearing, the stainless steel kit. Michael Johnson and I made 8 full kits in a day.
Yeah.
They are shitty. They look like crap, but you know what? They take a beating, and that's all we needed them for.
Yeah. Hannah, I realistically don't have a time frame on how long I do this.
Typically 2
Realistic,
hours.
huh?
Typically about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, the longest one I've done has been 3 hours, and the shortest one, I think, just under 2 hours.
So we're probably gonna be here till like. Oh, we're gonna be here for a while longer. It's
Oh, yeah.
8:49. Oh,
Yeah.
we got a bit to go through.
Oh yeah, we're only on helmet number 2, out of
Technically
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, let's swap it to the third most common helmet in the sport, the Romance of Alexandria, or what a bunch
I
of us
haven't even
dirty Americans.
I haven't even shown the other ugly.
Oh, yeah, that is the inside of a English cross. That's actually the inside of the same English cross that we showed before.
So that should actually be over with the nasals, and not the
Yes, it
wolf
should.
ribs. So if you want to see what a nasal looks like without the cage on the front, or without the chain
Yeah,
on
so
the
you know
front,
it's safe. That's gonna stop basically anything that's coming into your face.
yeah. No, you're good, Hannah. You're good. 100 questions.
Aaron and I
on
go
that.
off on tangents.
Yeah.
We can talk for hours on end if we need to.
Yeah. And yes, Tyler is smoking a hookah. I guess I didn't see that question asked earlier, but
Sorry. It's berry blueberry mint. All fucker. It's delicious.
yeah. So, and then here's another.
That's a Belarusian one.
Yeah.
No, I love the maker of that one is a really cool guy. It's Slovatsky or something. He's damn good. He's
Yes.
also like one of the best titanium armor makers.
Yeah. It does look like a squid.
Oh fuck, it does. Oh, I can't wait till I get I'm gonna make my wolf rib look like a squid. I'm so excited about that. I'm giving it tentacles. I don't give a shit.
The next one, you talking the other open-faced ones?
We can do the other open face one too. I was gonna do ROA next, but I'm cool with doing. Let's stick with the open face.
All right.
Let's go through those and we'll show what the third most common helmet is after that.
All right. So, bar boots.
So a bar boot is going to be something that starts in around 1450. I can find documentation at that time frame consistently. There are documentations of slightly earlier to about 1430. They're it's transitional, so like the face opening is different, and there's one that's actually a nasaled Saleh that is a precursor to a barboot. They're weird.
Okay.
This is what happened when you have a lot of foot combat. It is an Italian helmet that carried all the way into, I believe, like 1530. It was a pretty long-lived helmet because you got a really nice benefit of being able to breathe, being able to see the battlefield historically. But you weren't having to worry about a lot of thrusts. They were very narrow slots. The eye slots historically are about, I'd say, quarter of an inch for the eye slots, maybe up to half an inch for a lot of them. There are some that are a bit bigger where they're like 3/4 of an inch for the T shape in the front. But They keep you safe. They are my favorite. Right?
And funny enough, I'm actually getting one made by a guy down in Mexico. I forget who made this one, but I believe this is for a guy in Cincinnati.
That's Ivan. That's Ivan, the last name. It's the same guy that made the first Wolf review showed.
Okay.
He is one of my recommended helmet makers. His stuff fits really, really nice.
Yeah. Because this is going to a guy out in Cincinnati, Ohio, correct?
I believe so. It's one of them that I have saved. I have a full folder on my phone that's just it just says recommendations. And it is basically every single photo I sent you for this stream.
Yep.
It's different forms of armor. It's different forms of helmet. It's the most common stuff that people are going to be wearing for gauntlets.
Yeah.
And just kind of informing you, like, hey, you have choices. And these are all pictures that I send to new fighters for if they want to know what they want to wear. Because a lot of them will be like, I don't know. And so I send them all the helmets, and I say, choose one.
What is the process for getting one?
What looks fun to wear?
So
say that again.
What is the process of getting one custom made? Funny enough, you say that because I actually have a picture of one. This is, I want to say mine. That's Alan Benjamin from Mexico sent me a couple of weeks ago. So for measurement wise, you send them the circumference. It also depends on who you're getting the helmet from. Some smiths will take one measurement. Some will ask you for 7 or 8 measurements, up to 7 or 8 measurements.
I did circumference of head. I had to caliper the sides of my temples, the front and the back of my head, distance from collarbone to eye line, and then distance from collarbone to eye line in armor. Those are the measurements I had to send for Anatoly, but it makes my helmet fit like a glove.
Yeah.
But you contact the armor, find a reputable person. Currently, if you want to go with a hardened helmet, as much as I love Benjamin, I don't wear mild helmets. I don't like them. So if you go with a hardened helmet, I have Peter Poyak out of Table Armory.
Alexi Parabenos.
I have Parabenos and Ivan. Those are my 3 go-tos for if you want a hardened helmet. There's a couple other guys that are really nice. My Gauntlet guy makes helmets that are pretty good. They're Vladinsky is his name, and that's Path of Armory. But contact him on Facebook, and you just say, I want this, and then they'll give you a price. And then they tell you, send me measurements, and hopefully they're in a place that takes PayPal. Because I'm really glad that Ukraine gets PayPal now, because we used to have to do MoneyGram for everything, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. And so realistically, the inside of it would just be metal. Sometimes they'd send you a coif, or you'd have to go out and buy a coif, and then you would have to concussion pad it yourself. So
every helmet.
You are lagging pretty badly.
I'm lagging?
You glitched out pretty hardcore there.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. And chainmail and all the other extra bits. Whenever I get a new helmet, I rip out my liner, because I'm a psychopath, and I pad my helmet out to my liking. And at that same time, I will put a helmet strap on the back, or a Simon strap. which I just rivet onto one of the holes that's in the back.
Yeah.
And then I just put my liner back in, and I'm good to go. It's a little bit extra work, but I know I'm super safe when I do that. Because like I can throw my helmet on right now and have somebody beam me in the head with a pole arm, and I do not care.
Actually, so this is just the starting process of the helmet, Hannah. Because just like this one, it's going to have the eye bars. It's going to have eye bars, and then it's going to have bars going over your mouth. So this one is realistically just... I don't know what I just did. I clicked the wrong picture. This is just the beginning process. This is before the eye bars get put in, before the bars across the mouth go in.
Before your lining, before your chin strap set up, everything.
Yeah, this is like the rough shaping of it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Do we have any other open face helmets?
We got this ugly looking one.
That is actually a living example. That is in the Met. That one's from 1485, I believe. But that is an actual barboot that is surviving. There's battle damage on the other side where it looks like it got hit with a poleaxe. It has 4 little dots on the side of the other helmet. And that was just a really nice find that was stored in a castle and was found back in like the 1800s, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the Met ended up buying it. They have a huge display of armor, of living armor. That's all made from actual time periods. And technically, you could wear that helmet in our sport. It meets all of the requirements, the thickness, everything.
Really?
Yep. The only thing you have to add is the eye bars. So if you put that bar section on it, you could strap it up and wear it just like a new helmet.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. There is one guy in Japan that wears his ancestral Japanese kit. The only thing that aren't his family's armor from like the 1600s is the chest piece, which he's had it remade so it matches. I mean, it looks the same.
Yeah.
And then the helmet. He had the helmet and the chest piece remade, and I think the shoulders. But his arms and legs are exactly the same.
Yeah. So, a coif is kind of like the lining that goes inside of the helmet, but it sticks out more. We're going to jump to just a quick picture just to kind of show you. So the green thing.
It's essentially a hoodie. It's a hoodie top.
Yeah.
It completely covers the side of your head. You could wear it like a hoodie. I've worn my helmet liner before when it was really cold outside and I didn't want to grab a hat. And then it sticks out. That part that sticks out over your shoulders is called the perlet, because it's a stupid French word. And normally that is covered by chainmail or scales, or in his case, he should probably just be wearing like a cloth covering for it.
Yeah. So the green thing here, Hannah, is what we are calling the coif. And it goes inside of the helmet as well. When I get my helmet back from Zach, I can, take better pictures and show you and demonstrate. I actually.
But yeah, since are there any other open face that we have?
No, it was just those 3.
Cool. Then let's just stick with this. Sugarloaf.
Okay.
Sugarloafs. The largest time frame for a helmet that you can use in this sport, period. It has a time frame that's over 200 years long.
Actually, I am missing one picture from in here because I was sent it late.
Hey, you're all good. That helmet, I believe the first Sugarloaf helmet is the evolution of a great helm. And so you're talking like the early 1300s, maybe. there is documentation of them wearing Sugarloafs all the way into the mid 1500s. And there's living examples. There's a bunch of different styles for it because it evolved over the years. There's that one, which is considered it's a closed face Sugarloaf. Sorry, you guys can't see it yet. He'll pull it up. The one that he's going to be putting up is a closed face. It doesn't have a visor that opens up. It's a better example of an early Sugarloaf, where Aaron's helmet is kind of like a late 1300s. So it's like 1350 to 1380-ish, where it has a visor. You can pop it open.
Yep.
It's solid by his chin. So like that visor doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of his helmet.
No.
His helmet is fully enclosed, and then the visor closes on top of it.
Yep. And this is also an older. This picture's 3, 4.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 years old, bud.
Yeah, because this was when I was still out in California.
Yeah.
But
then this other style is made by a gentleman.
That one?
No, the one that you had.
Oh, the other one.
The closed face Sugarloaf.
That one.
So this one's made by a group in India, but it is made with the expressed design aspects of a gentleman named Craig Nadler, who used to be the armor for Team USA back when we first started fighting, like 12, 14 years ago, however long it's been. I think it's been like 13 years. And that is a 4140 helmet, and it takes a beating. It's uglier than thin.
It absolutely does. Yeah. So this is actually
all the way around.
One of my teammates' helmets. We call him Christmas. And this was during a Ren fair. Somebody had caught the brass and just started shearing the rivets.
Yeah, time to get new rivets.
Oh, he got new rivets later that night.
Good.
Some
of the photos from Carnage have one of those helmets.
Oh God.
I think it was against Dominus, and it is brutalized. It looks like it's a mild steel helmet. They hit it that hard. Yep.
That's interesting.
It was beautiful. It looked like a work of art. But yeah, that's an earlier style. They're simpler. They're a lot cheaper. Like I bought those helmets for like $200 a pop. I think we ordered like 10. But they were good helmets. They didn't have liners in them. They didn't have chin straps. They weren't custom made. They were just like, they'll fit a range of guys. But if you're starting a team, something like that is really, really nice to be able to get your hands on, because you can get a new fighter in a helmet that you know they're going to be safe in. Now, they might throw up in it because it's hard to get off when you're stressed.
Yeah.
I've thrown up in one when I first started fighting, and we called our first Sugarloaf the puke bucket. Because there were a couple times where people got way too close and got it to like their nose and then threw up while they were taking it off. Yeah, they were real fun. But then there's other styles like that. The next one you pulled up from Armory Smith.
That one?
Yep. So this one is just going to be a different take on that same style of helmet, where it can have a bunch of different feels to it. This is a later period closed Sugarloaf with a scale Aventail. You're probably looking at like 1420s-ish for this helmet. 1420 France. Yeah, 1420 France. It's really good. There's quite a good set of fighters that love them. Most people hate Sugarloafs, but the dudes that love them like will die by those helmets.
Not wrong.
You want to do the ROA, the evolution of a Sugarloaf into a bastonet?
Well, we also have the side view.
Oh, we do. Yeah, throw up the side view. So this one's just shaped better. It's not a tube. It's actually more anatomically shaped. It sits on your head a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
It makes it feel a whole lot better than just a bucket on your head. But these ones are super, super nice. Um, I would probably buy them from them if they weren't very, very expensive.
How
Their
much?
helmets are like 800 and up.
Holy shit.
I got really lucky. I bought one from them for $350
Interesting.
because it had a flaw in it, and they welded it back together, and now it's a new fighter's helmet.
That one we've already seen. So yeah, there's mine when it was first made and first blackened.
When it was clean and undented.
Yeah. Many
That
years
didn't,
ago.
yeah, that didn't last long.
No. And then, here's another one as well. I believe this is still another Benjamin helmet.
Yep, that's a Bishman. That was from his website to kind of show you what the basic construction is of like how the face is together, what the general shape of it is. If you're gonna get a helmet from Bishman, I love his Sugarloafs compared to anybody else's in the sport.
Oh yeah.
They take a beat. They're heavy as shit, but they take a beating, and you know they're gonna be okay. So if somebody's like, "Yeah, I just want to sit in a corner," I was like, "Cool. Are you wanting to spend $900 to $1,000 on like a grand bassinet? No. Get a Sugarloaf. You'll get the same exact feel for way cheaper."
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's do some ROAs.
ROA? ROA.
Yeah. So, ROA, which most Americans call them Griffin helms. There's a bunch of different design styles again. Mainly just differences in the eye slot. The main feature of it is going to be a peaked front. It looks like two flat sides coming together. And it is a side pivoting bassinet. So this is kind of a bastard child between a bassinet and a Sugarloaf. This photo that he brought up is an artistic rendition of living examples for the bassinets and how the faceplate should be to cover documentation. That is the only reason why this photo exists. Battle of Nations tried banning the Griffin helm a couple years back in like 2018, 2017.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's because Ukraine used some very stylized Griffin helms. They were historically plausible. They weren't historically accurate. And so they went through a big old hoopla of like what's allowed. That's why I don't call them Griffins anymore. It's called a Romance of Alexandria. Because if you call it a Griffin to an HMB Marshal at a major tournament, they might try to bounce your shit. Because Griffins are not allowed. But they're essentially the same helmet. And we have a couple photos of those ones if you want to pull them up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to.
You're all good. My favorite is going to be from. That is a shovel face, not an ROA. That one's technically. Those are both technically ROAs, and so is that one, and so is that one, and so are those. Like you can see, a lot of them have similar features. These weird bubble face ones are called shovel face bassinet.
Which one do you want to start with?
I don't care. Do Josh's. The first one that popped up.
That one?
No, one after. The first ROA that popped up. That one. Or keep changing it. I don't care. Do any of them. Not it. God damn it, Aaron.
We'll just do the pig face one.
That's not a pig face.
All right. God damn it. We'll just start here.
Okay. Were you having trouble with your computer settings, bud?
No, I was literally just clicking in and out of them because I just have them marked ROA 1 through 9.
Jesus. Okay.
Like some of them I went a little more detailed.
Yeah.
But ROA, there was just so many pictures. I'm like, no, just 1 through 9.
But ROA is arguably the most common closed face helmet in our sport. Because the Griffin was so popular, and it still gives you a lot of the breathability, that you'd get off of like an open face helmet, but you get a shit ton more protection. An ROA is the first helmet that I ever wore in this sport. Well, it's the first ever helmet I owned in this sport. I wore a Sugarloaf for my first helmet, and then this weird Mongolian helmet for a little while. But they sit way further off of your face, and because of that, it's never touching your face. But that makes it way heavier, and I don't like the repairs on them because it's the same thing that you're going to see with this all side pivoting bassinets. So like this one is a shovel face bassinet because it looks like a fucking shovel. And yes, you can actually dig ground out with the bottom end of it. I've seen it happen to someone. They got thrown and had a bunch of sand and horse shit get thrown into their helmet because of it. It was beautiful. The hinge, it's not common, but an axe can wedge in there and it breaks the pin. Or there, you see on the side of the helmet, there's a little black leather. It's going to be on my side, so the right side of the screen. There's a strap that goes all the way around the helmet to hold the visor closed. If it's made out of leather, it can get cut. Thankfully, a lot of people have switched those to biothane, which is a cut-resistant material. It looks like leather if you keep it black, and it's way harder to cut through. Like you'll break the wood that you have it on, or you'll break the steel underneath it before you cut the biothane with a blunted object. And so visors opening up from that are happening a lot less. So I think these are a really good safe option. They fit into a later time period. This is going to be your early 15th century, early 15th century-ish. They go a little bit weird, but this goes up to like the 1450s, probably about 1390 to 1450.
So, Schwartz, I was told we need to take a couple of these to the beach.
Are we going to be trying to make someone shovel the face off? Dude, I will throw you down on the sand.
No.
One of those.
Make sandcastles with these.
If somebody wants to pay for a helmet for me to do it with, I will gladly do it. Other than that, nah, shit's too expensive. I don't want to deal with cleaning it afterwards. I clean and fix too much armor as is.
Right. So the other shovel face.
Yeah, this one's a weird one. So I believe this one's still considered a shovel face. Yeah, this one's still considered a shovel face. It just has a different breath pattern. And that's based off of a living example on a cloud visor, where it has the open cross. It was just a design thing. Technically, the other side of the helmet, if it was historical, wouldn't have any breath holes in it at all. It would only be open on one side. But you see it has a bunch of eye bars that are actually built into the visor. And that is historically correct. So these are one of those helmets that if you're wanting to play in all of the leagues, which I don't do anymore. I don't fight in the ACW. I don't like their marshalling staff, so I don't deal with it. They have the most restrictive eyebar rule, where you cannot have more than a square inch open on a single plane. This is one of the few helmets that you can wear that fits all the way from Battle of the Nations, which has the most restrictive for you have to have it relatively open, to ACW, where it's the completely other side, where it has to be more restricted. So it's like 1 bar wolf ribs are HMB and Battle of Nations legal. To have a wolf rib that's legal for the ACW, you have to have 3 bars in it, and it looks stupid.
Yeah, I could see that.
At that point, just wear a Grand Tourney bassinet. Like, you're already putting a cage in front of your face.
Yeah. So Hannah said this helmet's perfect for a Ninja Turtle.
I could see it.
I can totally see that.
I could see Donatello wearing it.
Yeah. So going to ROA 4.
Yeah, so this is a traditional ROA. This is the one that you're going to see 90% of the time. Simple, clean, big enough time period where its time period is not as easily defined, so it's a lot easier for people to wear with like a full plate kit or a really early brig kit. They're just good helmets. Ben Splitter, one of my fighters out in Colorado, wears them, and he absolutely loves it. He got his from Armor Moscovia. So Peter Poyak, who's in Serbia now, is the guy that made those two helmets, and they're good. They're just simple. There's nothing fancy about them except for the cross. Let's go to the next one. We still got a not like the next photo, like the next set of helmets.
Oh, you don't want to go through all these other ROAs that are all.
Really. I mean, they're just minor differences in how they're a lot. That one's actually based off a manuscript photo from Anatoly. That one's a Master Yuli with a stylized eye slot version of the first one that Parabanos made. So they take concepts from artwork, which is very vague.
Yeah.
And they'll have two armorers make the same helmet. Those are supposed to be the same manuscript documentation, and they look completely different. And that's how armoring goes. And then you pray that it passes AC. What do we have next? Clap visors?
Yeah, I think so. What do we have next? Sugarloaf. We can do clap visors.
Yeah. I love me some clap visors.
And Hannah, no, the end of the visor would not dig into your chest because you still have extra helmet that would still need. There's still more room where it won't dig into your chest.
Yeah,
Or
if you
neck.
make it properly, it actually sits out and points away from your chest.
Yeah.
There are helmets that curve in, and they hit your chest piece before anything happens. So, like, I have a drop ring on my nasal, like how you saw the empty photo of, or the chainmail list photo of the English cross, where that drop ring goes real low comparatively where the actual helmet stops. That's just to protect your throat, just in case somebody decides to throw a massive haymaker on your neck. I don't have to wear a gorget, and I'm very happy I don't have to wear a gorget.
Yep. So clap visor. There's many different style. I have.
Jesus,
5.
there's so many.
Yeah.
The clap visors are super, super regional specific. Like that one's an onion top bassinet clap visor from like England. It's a little bit more historical with the less breast, super small eye slots because it's an English helm. This was worn by a foot combat guy, so he got shot by arrows a lot, and so they made their eye slots really, really narrow so that hopefully it didn't go in. The big difference between your side pivoting bassinets and clap visors are where your mounting point is. If you look on my nasal, it has it. On the English crosses, it has it. On all clap visors, they have a thing on your forehead. It's called a spoon. And it protects the hinge where the actual visor mounts to. There are clap visors that are replaceable. They can take their visor completely off the bassinet by turning that spoon sideways. They open it up and pull it off.
Yeah.
And then they can put a new visor on.
Simon Rorick has one, I believe.
Yeah, he has one that you can put a wolf rib on, and it's weird.
I didn't know you could put a wolf rib on, but I knew he could take his faceplate off.
I believe no, his new wolf rib you can't. His old one, yeah, he could take off because it was made by an SCA armor years and years ago, and that's super common in the SCA. Because they'll just wear the helmets, they'll pull their visor off when they're not fighting.
Yeah.
And I know guys that wear clap visors that do the same thing. I don't think safety-wise it's a great idea. Mine's hard riveted down. You can't pull it off in any way, shape, or form. That one is like the traditional. It's just a French clap visor. It's got a good amount of breadth. It has good visibility. Has the eye bars. It is legal in all leagues as that is built.
Is that point tied closed?
No, that has a strap on the side.
Okay.
That should have a strap on the side. It might be point tied closed on the bottom too. There's guys that do it.
Yeah.
But it looks like you can see a little bit of a strap on the left-hand side.
Right. Yeah, no, Hannah, that's what I was wondering. That could just be another way. So say if your visor strap gets cut and you have, this is what we're assuming is that those are like point ties that you can tie them to make sure the visor doesn't flop up.
Just a secondary protection. Because, again, those helmets, when they get cut, actually, it happened. It happened at Carnage. Someone took a two-handed axe to the side of their head, cut their visor strap, and the visor went straight up and slammed back down because they got hit so hard.
Oh, God. It happened a few times, actually.
It happened with Armays more. It only happened with one clap visor. There were Armays, which are late period helmets, and they have a button release. It's a spring-loaded button. So it's a little thing of spring steel, and it pushes out. And if you hit that button, the visor is no longer secured, and it'll just open up. But that's just an extra form of protection, which, with the clap visor, I think you should do. That one is made by Armory Workshop Dobrynia. I very much like that clap visor. It's just simple and sweet. With good chin strap, because these helmets open up, you can actually do a different chin strap style, which I personally don't like, but a lot of Ukrainians use, called the two-strap. They have one that comes in the front of your face, right below your mouth, on your chin, pulling backwards, and then you have one that goes from the side down by your ears underneath the chin. And when you can open up your helmet to do it, oh my God, it makes it so much easier to put them on.
Yeah.
But slightly different benefits.
So Hannah wants to know, why can't they put metal around the straps so it can be protected? Well, it's going to make it a lot harder if you need your visor popped open for somebody to release that rather than just a quick buckle.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you wanted to hard mount your visor, you can.
Yeah.
Armory Smith does it. They have a clap visor where it's riveted down. You can't open it in any way, shape, or form. It just looks like a clap visor. But you lose the benefit of being able to operate it. That's why switching to biothane from leather for your visor strap is gonna solve 90% of the problems. And as long as you know, like, hey, I have a helmet that if it pops open, I need to hit the deck. You train it. I've trained all of my guys that have opening helmets. Like, if you see daylight more than you're supposed to, take a knee immediately. Because even if your helmet starts getting pulled off.
Yeah.
My helmet got pulled off. And the second I saw daylight, I hit the deck. Like, I threw myself at the ground. Because I don't want to get hit in the head. I'll get hit in the helmet all day long. I like my face. My wife likes my face.
It
needs to stay the way it is.
It's okay. It's nothing special.
Not what Shelby says. Her opinion matters more than yours.
Somebody's lying to you.
Hopefully it's you. I thought you loved me, bud.
Eh?
You motherfucker.
If I didn't, I wouldn't have had you on here twice now.
That's fair. Here's a fun one.
Yeah.
So this is a German clap visor. How I said they're really regional. I can't remember. There's an actual city that this is named off of. The opening is different. This opening is more like a barboot. It's not a T, but it comes in on the cheeks like a lot. And then it's a really elongated face. I love these. I don't see many fighters wear them because they look really weird on short people.
I believe, actually, funny enough, one of our fighters here has one. AJ.
Oh my God, I need to see it. You need to have him send me a photo.
Let me see if. Let me see if
Stylistically, this is one of my favorite helmets. It's just enough weird.
Yeah.
That it's beautiful.
I'll just send it to you.
That's fair. I can't look at my phone right now. I'm using it for lighting, remember?
No, I know.
Just send it to me. I want to see it. I always want to see helmets and armor.
Save.
But yeah,
Let's
no,
do
these are just I very much enjoy these helmets. I wish more people fought in them. There's a guy named Alex Kerwin that is trying to get one of these. He ordered one, and then the war started.
Yeah.
So his is done, stuck in a shop in Moscow, and he can't get it.
Let me edit this before I pull this.
Oh, don't worry about it, dude.
Oh, I've got it. I just got to edit it real quick.
Oh, that is a weird one. I can see it. Remember, we're screen sharing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He has the Parabanos.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
I think that's a Parabanos one. It's a little bit different. I don't enjoy it as much because it's stylized. It's wider. I like the really narrow-faced ones.
Yeah.
Because I just think they're interesting. They're so not like special for this sport, but they're pretty. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want them to look pretty.
So that's clap visor. So now we have
we should have late period ones, right?
Late period. Late period is the
helmets.
last helmets that we have.
Yeah, I mean we have Mongolian, but those will get covered with the Mongolian armor.
Yeah.
So this is the big reason why I tell people, like, always choose your helmet first. Because late period helmets, you don't get a lot of choice in armor. But they're really, really pretty, and they're really, really tanky. Like that is a living example, again at the Met, of a closed helm. So it's an Italian white 1480s to 1520s-ish helmet. It was a jousting helmet, foot combat. Like they were very widely used, but they're super fitted to your head. Like the length of your chin matters in these helmets.
Yeah.
So go to the next one, and we should have a couple different designs of late periods. Bellow face Saleh. So the same exact time period as that closed helmet. This was a German model. German and Milanese. Yeah, German and Milanese. They took a bassinet. It started making it into a Saleh where it gets that little lobster tail in the back. And so this is like the evolution of a side pivoting bassinet going up into the 15th century into the 16th century. So this is probably like 1450s-ish. Again, probably going to about 1500, 1510. They're just a little bit different. Their armor technology is getting better. Weapon technology is getting better. They want to be able to breathe more. They want to be able to take really nasty shots coming at their face. So they designed better helmets. Like the evolution of jousting and actual tourneys, like what our sport is based off of.
Yeah.
And the next one. This is also like the late period helmet I recommend to people for if they say they want a German kit, I always say, go get a Bellow face Saleh. They're awesome. This one is I know who that fighter is. God damn it.
Nicholas Homa?
Yeah, that's Homa. That's Homa in an armé or an armet. With a little bit of a stylized visor. This is going to be super similar to a closed helm. It just has a different opening mechanism on the chin. That's it. They just open slightly differently. They're really fitted to the head. I mean, it comes down and it's form fitting to the neck. So it keeps you really, really safe. You get a lot of mobility out of them. But it's a lot more expensive a kit. Like you're going to be spending about $900 to $1,000 for an armet nowadays. You can get them really cheap if you're lucky. There's one for sale right now for 500 euros.
Yeah.
But you better have a small head. Like a 55, 56. And then your armor choices change because your late period. It makes things difficult for documentation.
Right.
Another arme, just slightly different style, better photo. Now the Sally. Sorry, it's a shitty photo. That was a dude sending me that photo, being like, "Is this safe for our sport?" So that is a welded Sally. So it's a fixed bever, which is the piece that covers his chin and his mouth, and actually mounts onto his chest piece. And then the helmet is historically it's supposed to be a separate piece that goes on top of it, and then they would either have a visor that would open up on it, or you could wear it tilted up to be able to see an open face, so that they could give commands out of it. I think they are one of the worst helmets for this sport.
Yeah, I want to say that was one of the helmets that I first wore when I started. Because I think it was the one that Cody was wearing.
Cody's. Yep, it was a welded Sele.
Yeah,
from Ice Falcon.
Yeah,
they
not a fan.
They're beautiful. Historically, they're amazing. But we have to make them differently to fit our sport. And with that helmet sitting on your head like a hat, the helmet moves. If it's not welded together, it moves better for duels. But if you take a nasty shot to the side of your head, the helmet actually moves before anything else does, and there's not enough weight behind it, and they're really concussion prone. Or they cut the shit out of your face.
Yeah.
The eye bars hit you in the eyebrows, and then you get nice, cool scars like I have.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. That's why that helmet doesn't exist anymore. Ooh, this one is not an RMA.
This one's weird. When you sent this to me, I'm like, this is weird and odd all at the same time.
So this one, and I believe the next photo, go together. It is called a Grand Tourney Bassinet. So they took a bassinet. So this one, they took like an ROA, and then they built up neck protection for it, and it mounts to your chest piece. These are the most tanky helmets that you can wear. I have not known anybody that actually wears a Grand Bassinet that has gotten a concussion in the sport, because your head physically cannot move in it. It's mounted to your head. It's mounted to your shoulders, so it doesn't go anywhere. Now it makes you. They're a lot heavier. They're a lot top. They're way more top heavy. And if somebody gets head control on you, like, you are going with them. There's no arguing it.
Right.
But if you got a big guy let's say you have a dude that's 6'3", 6'4", 300, near that like 300-pound mark, where he just wants to walk that rail and take a beating.
So me.
Put him in a full plate kit. Yeah, well, put you in a full plate kit with one of these, and you just grab people and take punishment. Yeah. That's what the helmet was designed for. It was designed for the tourney. It was designed for actual foot combat in the War of the Roses, or during the War of the Roses. So there are examples of like this one, which is probably a jousting helmet. It's a modified version of a jousting helmet. So that one would actually have like a protection plate that comes up on your left to cover all the breaths in that eye slot. But I think they're beautiful, and they're super tanky, and not a lot of people wear them. The next one is the really, really dumb version that has the best breathing in the world. Oh, sorry, not the next version. One? The one after this. This is, again, just stylized version of it. That one. The tourney helm. This is in manuscripts from about 1505. And again, they didn't allow thrusting, so they just built a fishbowl cage on the front end. And that's what it's there for. It's so you can breathe better and see the field better. And I like them. They're stupid as shit. Like, they're dumb looking. But they served a purpose, and for our sport, they're generally okay. I'm not going to say they're the best. They're not in the top 3. But if you're going late period and you like taking a beating, wear a full plate kit with this helmet. You're going to be spending a bit more money. You're probably going to be looking at about $5 to $7 on the okay range to get a kit that matches this. Comparatively, like my kit's about, I estimate mine to about $2.5 grand, 2 to 2.5. So double what I would wear, double the cost.
Yeah.
But you're gonna sit there and just take a beating, and it's beautiful to watch. But you can laugh and shrug off people's stuff when you wear stuff like that. And then the next one is a weird late period.
Going back to that
I
one.
haven't. No, I was gonna go the next one down. This is just a different stylized version of the cage. So if somebody wanted to see a slightly different breath system, a slightly different vision system, they're still the same helmet.
Yeah.
But that one was based off of probably like a bold-faced or an armée that they wanted to build up and make into a tourney bassinet or grand bassinet.
Talking about that one.
That is a late period pig face. This is one of those stupid fucking French helmets. Oh my god, I hate them. They're ugly as sin. Sorry, this is a hound skull, not a pig face. Pig face is going to be a modification off of a clap visor, where this one is a modification off of a side pivoting bassinet.
Yeah.
They stick out super far in front of your face. And again, it was deflect arrows. That's the only reason why they do it. In our sport, though, you wear this, I'm gonna move your head from your nose. Because I can grab your helmet. I'm gonna just turn that sideways.
Yep.
So you don't see them in our sport a lot, especially not this bold-faced.
Well, I would say I think I've only ever seen one person wear something like this.
Battle of Nations 2019.
Well, Lance
3 of the
Hoffman,
guys did.
didn't he have something similar to this?
Yes, he wore a very spiky hound skull. So this is the French style. That's why it's very rounded off. I like the rounded off ones more. There is the German style. I think it's like German or Polish, where it's super pointed. It's like you have a beak.
No, his is actually not as rounded, but he has something very similar to this, but he's got a lot more eye bars.
Ew. They were just built for foot combat and dealing with it, and it I think it looks dumb. But this is like those transitional helmets. So early, this would be like your 1420s, 1450s. You get this weird transitional period of going from good helmets for the time period, which are great for our sport because we can do things with modern steel and hidden protection, to they want to be more protective and get things away from your face and get it so you can breathe better, but they don't have the technology to do the really well-shaped helmets yet. They couldn't make a Saleh yet. They couldn't make an Armée yet, or someone didn't design it yet. And so you get this stupid looking helmet.
Yeah. Do you want to go to weapons or armor next?
I want to do armor next.
Armor?
Because with how your helmets go, so let's say you choose which one you like. If you like this helmet, you now have to choose a suit of armor that documents with a 30-year time period. The most restrictive way with HMB is a 30-year time period for all of your documentation. So, like, my helmet is documented to... I found one in 1405 and 1410. I'm not using those. I'm using 1393 for my nasal documentation. So all of my armor needs to be from 1393 to 1423. Right. I don't want to go later period. I want to go into the better armor.
So do we want to talk about the underneath protection first, or do we want to talk about the plate breaks and Mongol Eastern?
Let's do underneath protection because it's the same for everybody. These are all things that you can add onto your armor.
So, all right.
So this section is non-documentable.
Yeah.
It is all stuff that you can't see when you're fighting. So, like, the photo he has up is a hidden gorget from Barbados. It's to cover your cervical spine, a little bit extra on your shoulders, the front of your chest piece, and a little bit of the front of your neck. So that, God forbid, you take a neck shot, you're gonna have some extra protection there.
Right.
Because 90% of what that covers on the back is an illegal strike zone.
Which
But
actually they sat somebody today at Carnage for that.
I saw it was there. They was Spencer Waddell. That was
Okay.
one of my guys. I was very sad about it, but the dude turned while he was striking. Like, it happens, and so he just nailed him, like, upper back.
Yeah.
But it was close enough to where they called it an X shot, because it's one hand above, one hand below the bottom of that helmet.
Yep.
It's a roughly 6-inch section. It's really easy to protect. This is what I love to call the battle diaper, and you'll see when you see the back plate.
Yep.
So this is a hardened steel cup, hip plates, and it actually has a butt plate that's based off of Henry the Seventh's riding armor. So it has a line and everything. It's great.
Yeah.
I
It
wear
looks.
this. It looks
Yeah.
so dumb. You're wearing a diaper.
Yep.
But I took a shot in practice on the ass, and I didn't realize it until I looked and I saw a scratch on my armor. And it's just a little extra protection because your tailbone's a legal target, your glutes are a legal target. I swing for them at major tournaments, and it sucks to get hit there because it Charlie horses your whole leg, and then you can't stand up anymore for like a round or two. So I wear a battle diaper, which is just a nice little extra thing of Under Armour protection to make sure that my jimmies and my tailbone are protected. And then I have hip plates too because I used to get hit in the hips a lot.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of armor on my hips.
Hip plates do work out quite a bit. And then
Yeah, I think so. I did the rough math. I have more steel on my hips than I do on my helmet.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's like 3 mil, if not a little bit more in most places, because I have layered protection for my brig, which already goes down. I make mine longer, so it covers my butt, which means it covers all my hips, and then I have my hip plates underneath that, and then I have leather underneath that. So someone needs to really be swinging for the fences to take me out with a hip shot, and that was from experience. Because I've been taking out my hip shots, and I watched my best man, his chest piece articulated up, and he got his hip cracked. He got gap shotted because it moved up, and actually you were with me on that one, New World Cup.
Oh yeah, I was there. Are we talking about
Michael
Mikey?
is missing, yeah, Michael's missing a part of his hip because of it. They took a chunk of it off.
Yep. Thank you, Santos.
And after that, I don't go into fights without hip protection. I don't even do SDA stuff without hip protection because of it. And it's arguably cheap. I think it's like $200 shipped. But not getting hit in the tailbone or the nuts or the hips, I'm okay with that. I don't know if he does a female cup version. I'm gonna find out because I think we're gonna be ordering one and seeing if he can do one that actually covers like a female cup instead. We just have to do the measurements for it, so you don't have to wear a cod piece essentially. Because there were a couple groin shots for the ladies that
If you get
were too close for my comfort. But yeah, this can be worn by anybody. You
Yeah.
can be in an Eastern kit, Western kit, a Japanese kit. It doesn't matter. Any kit that you wear, as long as you can't see it, it does not have to be documented. So all of your Under Armour protection, perfectly allowed, and I recommend it.
Yeah. Hannah, what do you mean by your question? If you get all of the add-on / protection and helmet and armor and all that, how much does it cost? Realistically, it depends on where you get it from. If you get like really nice fancy stuff where it's all fluted and fancy, it could be 10 grand or so.
Do you want to know the cheapest kit I've seen and the most expensive? So the cheapest kit I've ever seen is actually one I ended up buying for Avery. She got really lucky, bought a used kit, everything. Padding, helmet, gauntlets, armor. She's missing Sabatons, that's it. For $1,000.
Yeah.
She wore it at Carnage this weekend. Is wearing it at Carnage this weekend. Did really good in it. That is obscenely cheap. I say the average for most fighters, I recommend them to budget for about 2.5 to 3. Some of the prices have gone up. Helmet prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Helmet prices were going up for a while. We got lucky. I've gotten a new gauntlet maker that makes them for the Turnberg style gauntlets are $320, and then the Tristan styles are $450. Those are the cheapest gauntlets I've ever bought. I'm currently wearing a pair of gauntlets that cost me $700. They were like $800 new.
Yeah. Hannah, no. The person we are referencing is not his wife. We do plan on getting his wife in at some point.
Actually, the first helmet of the nasals, how it had 2 helmets that looked identical.
Oh.
If you go back to it, the little shield has my family crest on it. That is mine and my wife's helmets. So she has her soft kit, she has her chest piece, and she has her helmet.
Interesting.
We do not have her arms and legs or gauntlets yet. Those are on the plan this year. We're just running into the problem of so we just bought a house. We're planning on having children, hopefully within a year or 2. And if that happens, we're probably going to get her arms and legs, and then she's going to get pregnant and not be able to fight for another year. But no, so that stuff is not for my wife. That was for a teammate here in Omaha who fought with the
Avery.
Coven.
Yeah, Avery, the person who we had mentioned earlier, that went out to Carnage and fight with Ashley and Kaylee.
Yep. So let's go to the Briggs setup first.
Briggs?
Yep.
Okay.
So there's 3 sets of Briggs setups in this photo array. 2 of them are from Parabanos, one of them is from GS Studios.
I had no idea.
This one. So this is a front opening Brig called a Wimbledon, or he calls it a Rene, Rene. Front opening, really nice plate style. It's still full coverage. You get a lot of mobility in a Brig that you don't get in a full plate kit. This is what you're going to see on 90% of fighters is going to be a front opening Brig. They're super common. And then his arms and legs are floating. You'll see that there are no extra metal bits around the knees and elbows. That is so that they have more mobility. All there is leather.
Yep.
So you don't get a restriction. It's not my preference. It's my preference in arms. I love floating arms. I hate floating legs.
Yeah.
But they're typically cheaper. They're easier to make. And so you'll see a lot of budget kits have floating arms, floating legs, because they can mass produce a lot of it out. Your size is, you're not as oddly shaped as most people think. I can buy nearly all of my armor off the shelf without thinking about it. The only thing I have problems with are my calves. And that's because I'm short and have big legs. So go to the next one.
Speaking of which, we are thinking of changing my my underpadding to what
Good.
Zach's running to a gi.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm running now too, dude. I love it.
With that, I might be able to get back into my old legs.
That'd be beautiful.
Dude, it would be sick.
Okay, so this chest piece, kind of hard to see. So this is a side opening chest piece. It's called a Kushnok. the German style. It is a glorified metal barrel. It's bands that are about 3-4 inches wide that go down your body that rivet on, or that buckle on the sides, both sides. And then he has definitely sports optimized shoulders. Um, I can find some sorts of historical examples of it. It's hard. I have to fight it. And articulated arms and legs. This is more traditional of like your early 1400s, so like your 1410s. That's why the time period that I like getting most people to shoot for is 1380 to 1410, because I don't have to think about what you're wearing. I just figure it out and I put you together. You get more protection with articulated knees and articulated arms. They're less likely to fail and like have your elbow cop fly across the list like mine did when I proposed to my wife.
Ooh.
And yeah, that sucked. I couldn't open up my left hand. Michael had to open up the ring bag so I could propose.
Oh no.
Yeah, my elbow and my forearm were so swollen. But on that same standpoint, it gives more restriction. It's the same kind of concept of, do you want more protection or more breathability in a helmet? Do you want more protection or do you want more mobility? So I love those shoulders. I would wear them in a heartbeat. I'd wear those legs every day of the week because I would rather have a little bit more protection on my knees. I like walking and I like doing weird things. So I want my knees to be okay.
Nobody needs to walk.
But I would switch the arms and I'd switch the chest, which leads us to the third break photo, which is a optimized kit. This is called the Merc kit or the Mercenary kit from GS Studios. It's a front opening Wimbledon. It's big shoulders. It's floating arms, so you have more mobility to be able to do duels or melees, but it still has articulated knees and cased greaves. This is my recommended style of armor for everybody. I just got a what? I don't know who that's for. It's my recommendation for every style of fighter. There's actually a kit from Red Snake that if you go down there, hold on, motorcycle.
I heard that. I was about to be like, what?
I'm in my garage.
I can't.
So that kit made by Red Snake is basically what I wear, except I have a Parabanos chest piece. And if you scroll down, it's the only one that has a green fucking chest piece on it. It's like the pre-built kit 4B. And it's that kit. And it's what I point everybody to, and it's like $1,400 for everything but Sabaton's gauntlet and helmet. But that is the most common setup for all fighters internationally. It's generic Buhurt fighter number 1. It works. Actually, I think, no, Zach's arms are articulated now, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. No, him and Ashley basically wear that last kit. I think they should wear floating arms, but their new kits fit them so well, I'm not going to argue with it. Do you want to do Mongolian or full plate next?
We can do Mongolian.
And I say Mongolian,
Eastern.
I really mean Eastern. There are essentially 3 Eastern kits. You have the Rus, which is based off of a burial. It's weird. It's the one that's currently up. It's this scaled chest piece at the lamellar with bazoo bands and smaller shoulders and a very specific helmet. There are only 2 helmets you can wear with that helmet. It's the Rus helmet, that's the one in the photo, and a kettle helmet. The only documentable ones that there are. It used to be very common. Thank God people have finally realized that we hit hard enough to blow those plates apart.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to fix.
Yeah. One of our fighters, Cody, he wears something like that at Red Fairs and things like that.
Oh yeah, I'd wear one for like the SCA.
That's
I'd love to have
titanium.
titanium. Yeah, I'd love to have a titanium set for lighter forms of combat. Like even duels. I would duel in a Mongolian kit or a Rus kit, but they're they lack in protection and ease of repair, and they have a lot more maintenance to them, and they're typically more expensive. So it's like, I don't like dealing with it. You can't change anything. You have to wear this style. Damn it!
Yeah.
Hold on, my dog got in here. Let's see if she's just gonna walk around. There's a
Oh,
big old pupper. Just
puppy.
popped open the door of the garage.
Who did?
Oh, my dog did.
Oh,
She's like 90 pounds. She can kick that door open. It doesn't like latch.
interesting.
Go to the next one.
I forget which one this one is. Nope, that's the same one I just had up. Oh,
This
yeah.
one. Oh, I love this one. So these are two of the Texas fighters. That guy's like 7 foot tall. The girl's not small. That's the crazy part. But she is in a Mongolian kit called a Hatadangu or Katadangu. There's arguments on if the K is silent or not. That is the Mongolian style armor. It is based off of writing manuscripts. The very weird thing about Mongolian armor is it doesn't have documentable leg armor. So Mongolian fighters have to wear hidden knees and hidden cuisse, so thigh protection and knee protection underneath like a pair of pants to meet documentation. Otherwise, it's a beautiful set of armor.
Yeah.
They make them nowadays. A lot of the armor is basically make it like a Wimbledon with big shoulders, with just showing on the outside. It used to be made the right way, where it had about 2-inch square plates everywhere, and it hurt a lot. It was essentially like what the Rus kit was, but the fabric on the outside. And so they kind of got phased out, and they've realized that switching it to look like a Mongolian kit while being a Western kit was a lot better.
Yeah. So Hannah said we need to get Izzy some armor.
Oh, no, I don't. She doesn't like wearing anything. You can try to put like a hat or a jacket on her, and she fucking hates you. Hold on, I gotta let her out of here. Go. Okay, now the deadbolt's on. So now it's good. Okay, go to the next photo. I think I actually sent you a better photo of Okay, this is what a Mongolian kit should look like.
Yeah.
It's that very simple helmet, which is technically an open face helmet too. This is an Austrian fighter, I want to say. It's a captain of their team who is a sword and shield duelist and sword and buckler duelist. That is a full titanium kit that he wears for melees, and it's very optimized and very minimal protection, and it is gorgeous, and I love it to death. If I was ever to win the lottery, I would 100% buy one for duels, but
Yeah.
it's
Cody's
really
whining
only
right now. Cody.
Why? Because he wants the bastardized Eastern kit.
No, he's like, I sent you my picture. Why don't you show them my kit? I'm like,
Cody,
really?
it's because it's not your kit.
He's like, whining? I'm like, I'm going to say yes, whining.
That's
Yes,
fair.
it is Cass's that you have been borrowing. But, yeah, we'll show that after.
Yeah. So that's what it should look like. Again, it's optimized, but there aren't many people that make it. Like, that's made by Tabor Armory. Parabanos makes one. Armor Muscovy or Tabor Armory makes one. And Pavel makes one. Armor.pro, I think is his website.
Huh.
Yeah, he got a good website. Which is the kit, that white kit that lady was wearing, the small female fighter.
Interesting.
And that was a full titanium kit as well. And they're nice. They're just restrictive. Your weapons get restricted. Your helmets get restricted. You don't really get a choice in what you get to wear. If you want to change up, like I can change to a wolf rib or a clap visor or an ROA, or potentially a bellow face bassinet if I wanted to change up something.
Yeah.
I can't do that with a Mongolian kit. And there's guys that'll go and wear. It fucking annoys me. It's really common in the ACW. They'll wear a Mongolian kit, so they'll wear a Tatangu from like Parabanos, which are super tanky, and I love them. And then they'll wear like a nasal with it,
Oh.
and it's dumb.
Yeah.
It detracts from any historical plausibility for the sport. You're not gonna. 90% of people aren't gonna notice it. There's gonna be little things here and there, but it's enough of a difference for me that I'm like, I can't deal with that. I don't like people wearing fantasy armor. I enjoy the historical side of it, and I like things being documentable, and that's why like our kits are gonna all be documentable. I will have the documentation when Zach and Little John make those kits, so we can just hand it out to the fighter and be like, there you go. You don't have to look anything up.
Right.
Okay, and go to. Did I give you another one?
Nope.
Technically, the third Eastern kit is a Japanese kit. There is one guy in the United States that wears one. It's super fantasy. He cannot go to Battle of Nations.
You only gave me 3.
I know. I don't have a photo of Omer. I don't think showing a Japanese kit's worth it. Like, they're that bad for this sport.
Yeah.
So, and I know it'll make Cody mad, but they're not good.
Yeah. So I will, since Cody Rufio, MTSTWCR, wants me to show his Roos kit that he's been fighting in.
And that just screams pain.
Very much so.
I don't like dealing with it. Cool. Plate kits. So these are the next set of armor that we're going to be getting into is going to be the stuff that goes with plate period. Plate kits start at about 1420 and go all the way up into technically they go up into the 1700s. Like Revolutionary War, there were still guys that wore like 70% plate kits on horseback. The Hussars. They might have gone to the 1800s, but this one is an Italian white. So Italian specialized kit. It's the big difference between Italian and German and English. Italian is very asymmetrical. The left shoulder and left elbow will be larger than the right because you're couching lance in that arm, and you have a shield there. Or no, you're holding your reins with that arm. And they wanted to be able to still throw shots and use their right arm a little bit more effectively than a symmetrical kit would allow. They just wanted to add a little bit of extra protection. It's one of those weird things. I enjoy them. Plate kits are awesome. Your mobility just is shit.
Yeah.
Comparatively, and it's not that you can't move in them. It's not that you're not just a tin man walking down the road. It's weird things like I curl my lats for throws to get people off center. I can't do it in a plate chest piece. I have to bend at the waist, where I can curl my lat and drop my shoulders to be able to turn someone in a brig. So a lot more protection. The disrespect plate kit can give people is hilarious. Who did it? Alex Kerwin was wearing my nasal in a full early plate kit at the chapter match against the Wyverns. He had 2 Wyverns pull-on guys beating him in the back, and he just saunters away from them and beats the shit out of one of their teammates. Doesn't even acknowledge that they're hitting him.
Yep.
So bigger guys like that want to be able to take punishment, I put them at plate kits. They're really nice. Again, a little bit more expensive. I wouldn't point them at like an Italian white like this one, because that's probably a $15,000 kit.
Oh, hands down. So
What?
I said hands down.
Yeah. It's not the most expensive kit I've seen.
Oh no.
It is a
I think I saw
Maximilian kit.
for like 30.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Full titanium Maximilian the First, made off of the living example. I believe it's in Italy. No, it's in England. With a majorly, and it's super fluted, which is hard as hell to do in steel, let alone titanium. So it's a hardened helmet, full titanium kit. It weighs like 45 pounds.
God damn.
It costs more than my car, but it's one of the Chinese fighters. It's definitely a state-sponsored sport over there,
Yeah.
and the mobility in it's ridiculous because it was super. Like he got the armor went and measured him out himself to do it. So like it fits like a second skin. That's beautiful, but you get what you pay for. Like,
Oh,
if you want to
100%.
spend $30,000 on a kit, like you can get some really nice stuff. But I would rather, if I had to spend $30,000 on armor, I'm gonna get 10 to 12 people in full kits. I'm gonna go and to like Parabanos and say, hey, I want to do a massive group order, and can you give me a discount because I'm buying all of these suits of armor, everything from helmet, gauntlet, sabs, soft kit, and be like, bam, I need it all. Rather than buy one person just the steel, technically just the titanium, to get a kit.
Right.
Okay, what's the next plate one that we have?
So this is the backside of a plate kit.
Yep. And again, you can see that it's really asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's the transitional one. So 1450 Germany to be precise. This is early Gothic. It is called a placard brig. So the cloth piece on his chest actually moves. It is a brig. So you can do some of those like lat pulls. You get a little bit more mobility, and you have a little bit less protection on the upper, like on your sternum and upper back than you would for a full plate, but you still get it in the nice spots. Your lower back, your kidneys, your liver, your hips. Those are all still as protected. This is, I think, a very good transitional chest piece.
Yeah.
One of our guys here in Omaha, Yanni, wears one. And doesn't one of your guys one? No, your guy, Joe has full plate.
Yeah, Joe is full plate.
Joe has full plate. One of the guys down in Kansas City also wears one.
Yeah.
And they can take a beating.
Yeah, they can. I think there's a couple in Minnesota, or they're full. No, those are full plates as well.
They're full plate now. They used to be.
Okay.
This is one of those like they got lucky with the transitional period, and Parabanos makes it really well.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit more protection, and that kit, if you don't get all the fancy bells and whistles, like that kit has titanium arms and legs, and brass trim and stuff. Yanni's kit from Parabanos, again, this was in like 2019, no, 2020, cost him $3,500, essentially.
Ooh.
It was $3,200 for just the steel, and he's missing sabatons.
That's not terrible.
So a little bit more expensive, but it's a nice middle ground, and you still are very protected. Hold on, I need to walk away for half a second. My doggo is just clawing at the door and wanting to play, so I'm gonna go let her inside real quick.
All right.
I'll be right back. I can probably still hear you. Here, switch to the next photo. Let's see if I can talk about it while I'm away. Ooh, early plate kit. So that one is made by Buhurt. Hey, come here. That one is made by Buhurt and is the chest piece that Alex wears. It is very, very nice. They're simpler, So that's like your 1420 style chess piece. There's nothing. Oh, she is not going to go inside. She just wants to play. So she's going to be mad for a while.
Oh no.
I'm going to get my wife to get her because I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, that style chess piece is really, really interesting. You got articulated arms, articulated legs, really good shoulders, and just a nice simple break setup. There's not break. Sorry, simple plate setup. There's nothing wrong with it. It has good protection. I know Joe upgraded his leathers for the hoop skirt to mesh to be less historically accurate, but it didn't. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It articulates better, and Alex is going to do the same thing. So those are those chess pieces that are very, very protective. Just a lot less motion. Did my headphones disconnect, or can you still hear me, Aaron?
I still hear you.
Okay, sorry, you didn't respond. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, sorry. I trying to do multiple
Oh, you're-
different things. And
Yeah, you're all good, bud.
I apologize for people who are watching that my head's down. I'm dealing with some things that I'm trying to take care of real quick, but it's taking a lot longer than I thought. So
That's all good. Well, let's switch it up. See what else we got.
I think that's everything for armor-wise. We've talked about the Mongolian Eastern. We've talked about under protection. Oh, no. We are missing 2.
Gothic.
Huh?
I think the next 2 should be Gothic, right?
You didn't send me any Gothic.
Oh,
bud.
no. The best thing that makes most of these decisions not matter. Wearing a good surcoat.
Yeah.
If your armor is hidden, it does not matter. So I personally wear a surcoat that's about that long. I do half sleeves, and then I do about mid-thigh. So I don't have to document my shoulders, my chest piece, my upper arms. I can put whatever the fuck I want on there, and it's all good. And they look pretty. And they hide your gaps. The benefit of wearing a good surcoat is next to none.
Well, it can either be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you have an armor malfunction and you get hit, that's, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt badly.
If you have an armor malfunction, you should know you have an armor malfunction. Like, I know when my shoulders fall off. But that saved us from the last round of the first NBC fight.
Yeah.
When I went out as Oof, or the first installment of Chimeras. Liam's shoulder fell off. His shoulder came off and was sitting over his bicep and tricep.
Interesting.
I didn't know it. He didn't know it. And he didn't get fat because of it. So, like, it's arguable. It can be good. It can be bad. Know your armor. Know what's going to fail. And pray to God it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
like with me, mine is my point ties. My point ties were the things that would break constantly. Point ties to my elbow, shoulder. I've eliminated my elbow point ties, so I am down to 4, 6, 8 point ties. I currently only have 1, 2, 3, 4 point ties at the moment.
8? Rear brace, shoulders.
Oh yeah, that's
legs.
right. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Name 'em off
5,
when you say
6.
'em.
So left shoulder, right shoulder. Arms through rear brace, left and right.
You do the elbow one. You do the low one now, to where it's just the top of the elbow and the rear brace.
Yeah, so it goes to the top of the elbow and then through the rear brace. That's 1 point
Okay.
tie. So that's left and right. So that's 4, and then my greaves.
Oh yeah, you point out your greaves because you're weird.
Well,
No, you probably need them.
I did, but I also changed how my greaves are set up. I shortened the straps, so now they actually sit around my leg, and I don't.
Yeah.
When I
Do you have
go to try to
Sabaton?
rotate it, it doesn't move. It just
Do
sits
you have
there now.
Sabatons?
I do. I bought some from Nadler. I haven't worn them yet, but I do have them.
So wearing Sabatons will eliminate the need for wearing point ties on your shins.
Yeah. Well, realistically, now with as tight as they are, I don't need those point ties. But I just have them there just so that they still stay in the same spot.
That's fair. I can see that. I'm down to 4. Um, Once we get the padding situation figured out for the gi setup,
Yeah.
I'm going to be hard mounting my shoulders to my chest piece. I am not loaning up those shoulders or chest piece to anybody once I put those together. They're just mine. It's what uh, Craig Ivy does.
Yep.
He's the one that recommended it to me. He said, take biothane, make biothane straps, rivet your shoulders to your chest piece. You should do that to yours when you get a new chest piece. And probably new shoulders.
Yeah. I need I need a whole new kit.
Oh no, it's not like your team is making them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, surcoats are amazing if you can get a good person to do them. They're a little expensive. I normally don't assume those in the cost of starting up fighters, because you shouldn't be wearing a surcoat when you first start fighting. Your stuff's going to change. You're going to wear different armor. You don't know how things are going to fit. It's an extra about $200 ish that you shouldn't spend. Period. Get the essentials first. Let your teammates hand shit off to you for surcoats and tabards. I take care of all my team's surcoats and tabards. I'm going to be making a whole bunch here soon for chimeras. Like Santos is going to get one. You're going to get one. Zach's going to get one.
Hell yeah.
Joe, if he wants one, I know he doesn't want to fight with the Omaha guys, but I would gladly take him any day of the week. Zach Reeves wants to try out for chimeras. Ted Valamis, Greg Fisher, Ben Splitter, Alex Doe, Gabe up in Minnesota. So there's a couple guys that we want to get those things taken care of, but I'm probably just making tabards for 90% of them, unless they want to get a custom fit surcoat, because there's just so many more things you have to have and know to fit properly.
Right. Hannah, I am 6'2", so my stuff might be a little big for you. Hannah wants my old kit so she can get in.
I mean, your old kit was my old kit.
Only the legs.
Oh, yeah, you didn't get the arms. Those
No.
went to Cass, I think.
Maybe. But hopefully if I can go to the gi setup, okay, you're 5'5". If I can go to the gi setup, I might be able to use my old legs that I sold to Matt. I might be able to still use my same arms, even though I need new ones. Well, I'm going to need new arms because they're starting to crack in the wing.
Yeah.
Which they're 5-6 years old anyway.
I switched to the gi setup. My arms and legs that are less than 6 months old don't fit under a gi or with a gi.
Ooh.
I can kind of wear the arms, but the second I get a pump in my right arm, it locks up.
Ouch.
Yeah, so I need all new arms and legs again. It's going to be 3 sets in a year. Don't grow a lot if you're in this sport. Grow to where you think you're going to stay and don't get bigger.
Grow to where you're comfortable.
Yeah, I thought I was. I haven't gained weight. I've lost weight. But my chest got bigger, so my chest piece stopped fitting. The new chest piece that I got, because it took so long to get to me, because Parabanos lost my order and then made it super quick and didn't get new measurements. it only fits if I wear a gi and light padding underneath. It doesn't fit in the gambeson.
Ooh. But the other surcoat we have here.
I love that one. It's so pretty.
But yeah.
I really want to do a quartered pattern.
Yeah. So wearing a surcoat will help benefit you because you don't have to document. If you can get everything underneath, realistically, all you have to be able to document are your legs, greaves, helmet, gauntlets.
Stabs.
Yeah.
But those are all easy to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I don't have any. The only thing I ever have hard time documenting are shoulders. Oh shit! Well, that's gonna be interesting.
What?
I got some Colorado Wardens chats going on Discord that I'm gonna have to check out after we're done here.
Gotcha.
But that is it for armor. Gauntlets are. I didn't send you a bunch of photos of them. There are a bunch of different styles of gauntlets that you can wear, and most of them are allowed in any kit because they realize safety is more important than being historically accurate for your fingers. Don't get finger gauntlets.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the one thing we realistically don't allow are finger gauntlets.
Nope, they're allowed.
Well, they are allowed, yes. It's
not
just
recommended.
right.
They are scary. There is a Russian fighter that is missing half of his pinky. He took a shot from, I think it was an American. All I know is, so this happened before I was in the sport. So this was at least 10 years ago. So safety standards were way lower.
Yeah.
He got hit in the gauntlet. He got hit in the pinky on a fingered gauntlet. It shattered the first bone. And so, it's completely gone. That's what it is. So it shattered the first bone, and he has the other two. A marshal handed him his finger. He went to the medics, got it closed up. Jimmy rigged it so it stopped bleeding, all that fun stuff. Got everything else cut off. Wasn't going to reattach it because it was destroyed. So he took the finger, covered in paper, and handed it to the guy that cut it off.
Oh, God.
That dude now has it. It is plated in either silver or gold and on a necklace.
Interesting.
He has two finger bones on a necklace.
Interesting.
Yeah, so don't wear finger gauntlets. We already get hit in the hand enough. We can send you a dozen photos of our captain in Des Moines taking thumb shots.
He took one today.
With his hand. I know. I saw.
He took one today and split his thumb and started bleeding.
If he does it again, I'm just gonna hand him my melee gauntlet that has that fully enclosed thumb. That's like super fucking hard to like. I've got hit on the tip of that thumb and I never get injured on it. I'm probably just gonna hand that to him. Cause he just keeps getting hit in the fucking thumb.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So, do we want to start with swords, polearms, or axes?
Did you pull out the dueling stuff?
So I organized the swords a little more.
Let's start with swords.
Okay.
Now, everybody keep in mind, your weapons have to match the documentation of your armor. Most of the time, it's easily done. You stay in a general time period, not going to have a problem with finding documentation for 90% of your stuff. Some of them are hard. If you like using a two-handed falchion, I hate you a little bit. They aren't easy to document, and there aren't many that you can use in all leagues. If you're fighting in like the ACW or ACL, IMCF fights, go use two-handed falchion. I don't really have to document them to your kit that effectively, but I fight HMB primarily. They're more restrictive on weapons. You got to make sure that your stuff meets and passes so you can go to events like Carnage
Yeah.
which they were very stringent on their rule set. I don't know how one of the females' helmets passed
Which
because
one?
it is the baseball cap bassinet.
Oh,
That is specifically banned.
really?
Yep, non-documentable.
Huh.
So unless she found documentation over the last like 4 years, I think it got banned in 2019. Or 2019 Battle of Nations was the first year that you weren't allowed to wear it. So I don't, but I haven't seen one in the list in years. And I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, that passed.
Yeah.
She got lucky.
Interesting. Oh, so I should probably cut over to swords as I'm sitting
Yeah.
here. Just
So I'm gonna have a harder time seeing these right off the bat. But it looks
So,
like
these
these
are-
are a bunch of different falchions and a couple arming swords.
yes, these are the one-handers.
Okay, so one-handed falchions, one-handed arming swords. An arming sword you're not going to use for melees. It's just a duels weapon. You can make them so that it's essentially a fucking iron bar if you want to use one in a melee, and I'll say it's less effective and sucks to wield. But you see, there's a bunch of different blade styles. Those are all documented all across Europe. There's some that actually cross-document to Eastern styles, like Eastern sabers, that look like falchions.
Yeah.
So those pass for Eastern kits.
So we're just going to kind of go over just these are more so just going to be group pictures of different falchions and swords, and so these are more arming swords, long swords, and also a couple great swords.
Yeah. So all of those are going to be different dueling styles.
And
You have sword and shield, sword and buckler, long sword, great sword. Great sword is technically a full plate duel style. Here in the United States, we don't do it as a full plate duel. You can do great sword if you got a great sword. The rule set, they treat it just like a big ass long sword. They point it the same way. It's done the same way. So it's not the real full plate duel style that great swords are meant to be, to where you can actually thrust in those. You can thrust to the body. You have to destroy little clay on the people's armor. It's a really interesting style that they've been trying to implement for the last couple of years. And they're fun to use, but that sword is 5-6 foot long. My arming sword's like 52 inches. My buddy's great sword is like 5'10".
Damn.
Yeah. Well, the crossguard for a great sword is supposed to, historically, you measure it, the crossguard is supposed to be in your armpit.
Huh.
So think how long that's going to be on you. Probably going to be about as tall as you are.
Right.
Where a long sword, the pommel is supposed to stop at your nipple.
Huh.
So you can do those rising undercuts.
Yeah.
Just really weird things. Arming swords are about 3 foot long. They always are.
Yeah. So more one-handed falchions. I think there's an arming sword in there.
Two-handed falchions,
Two-handed
one-handed falchions, and
falchions.
two-handed axe.
Yep.
Some big old butter knives and stuff.
Yep.
I will call. The reason why, actually, this photo shows it way better. The reason why I call two-handed falchions butter knives, I believe it is the one all the way to the right.
All the way to the right. Well, all the way to the right and all the way to the left are the same ones.
Oh, so those are. Are they? Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Those are not butter knives, but those are. It's the Majowski Bible. They're choppers.
Yeah. I want to say the third one from the left. The third one from the left, I want to say, is probably what you're thinking of, a butter knife.
Yes, that one's a butter knife. It just looks like one. It looks like you're wielding a 4 foot long butter knife, and I love them. if HMB wasn't as restrictive on the handle length, and the reason why two-handed falchions don't pass, none of those pass for HMB
Well,
because your handle length.
well, so the one that I got from Matt Aaron from Arizona, evidently that passes.
Is it 5 foot long?
Well, it's the same one that I got, one of the War Pigs has one of the same ones from him, and they used it during Carnage.
So the reason why is those are about 5 foot long. They run under a different sizing requirement to where the handle can be like 19 inches long. Where like my preferred size and most people's preferred size for two-handed falchion is about 4 foot, which means it falls under the longsword category, which means your handle can't be longer than 15 3/4 inches.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you use one that falls under the two-handed sword category, so you have one-handed sword measurements, two-handed sword it's one-handed sword measurements, long sword measurements, two-handed sword measurements. The two-handed sword measurements start at like 5 foot long, and they can have up to about, I think it's like a 19-inch handle, and that's why those ones are legal.
Okay.
You need to be a giant or an absolute monster to use one.
Interesting.
There's not many people in HMB that use two-handed falchions, other than like Colin Martineau and that dude up in Northern California.
Yeah. So all right, we're going to go to one-handed falchions.
Yay, simple and sweet.
Yep.
This is just a very basic, generic, slightly tapered. It's an iron bar. That's it. That's all it is. It's just an iron bar. Fits a shit ton of documentation. It's really, really easy to use. There's nothing really more to talk about it. It's just a nice one-handed falchion. That one's probably 1.5 kilograms. It's a middle range. I think they can go up to about 1.8. Mine is like 1.3. I have a feather for a one-handed falchion, and I love it. This is a different stylized take on it, made by Joseph Dawn, an armorer in England. He actually made all of the pole arms for the movie The King.
Okay.
The dude is amazing. I would love to get weapons by him. I want to get a two-handed axe by him. I want to get a one-handed axe by him, a falchion by him, everything. I want a bunch of armor from him, or a bunch of weapons from him. It's really hard to order from. And when his stuff pops up for sale, it's like Kyle Harris. It's immediately sold.
Yeah.
Like, you have 30 minutes to buy it at most. Okay, Shelby didn't get the doggo. Can you please talk about... skip that one. Go talk about another one. I'll be right back.
What do you mean go to another one? Who wants me to skip all the ones with the cross guards? But honestly, I'm showing 3 people watching. How many people are watching? Let me see if I can pull up my Twitch.
Sorry about that. I had to yell a little bit. She still wanted to play. Shelly didn't go grab her.
Uh-oh.
She still wanted to play. Shelly didn't go grab her. Okay, can you go back to the other one, please? The weird one? Yeah.
That one?
So, this one is, again, just a different style of blade. But the special thing about these ones is that guard. I use one that has a similar guard to it. Protects your knuckles, makes it a lot easier to punch, less likely to get hit in the knuckles, which, oh my god, it has saved my hand so many times. But it's called an S-guard. That one is borderline legal. And the only reason is because the S-guard goes all the way back to the pommel and, like, touches. So it's technically shaped like a D-guard, where there are 3 documented photos of swords with D-guards. At all. Super hard to document. S-guards, there's a shit ton.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice little added knuckle protection, and that's why I love S-guard falchions. One of those is actually mine. Those are what I use. Those are Tilco one-handed falchions. They're super light. They have the knuckle protection. and they're just fun. They're real whippy. Like they're not nothing too crazy special, but I also don't swing my sword a lot. I punch with my shield way more than I swing with my sword. I swing with my sword, I dent people's armor, and I feel bad about it. I use it only when they're trying to grab me, or like throwing smoke to make them not be in my area.
Right. So.
Because sadly, unless you can swing like an absolute monster, or you learn how to swing hammers really well, one-handed weapons are kind of not effective in the sport. There's a lot of people that just don't swing hard enough, and I'd say 90% of the time, I don't swing hard enough. If I get good shots off on you, I'll be fine. I can do it. But the norm is one-handed falchion. I will ignore 90% of the time. What's the next one you got up? Are we just gonna go through different blade styles? The dog tooth, modified dog tooth.
Yeah.
It's a modified dog tooth. It's a blade style.
So now this
Arming
is
sword.
Arming sword. Yep.
Just basic run-of-the-mill medieval one-handed sword. It's a dueling implement. Really, really simple. There's nothing fancy to it at all, other than they're light as shit and quick as shit. And that's the reason why we use them. There, you can flip your hand over really effectively, get some good shots off, and you're not worried about fucking up your wrist or your forearm when you do it. Might give yourself tennis elbow if you don't learn how to properly swing one.
Right.
But learn how to properly swing on first, and then you can do some really fancy things. Like I do wrap shots with steel weapons with my steel arming sword. I'll snap somebody in the back of their helmet when they're standing in front of me.
Yeah. And
That's
these
great.
are also primarily used for duels. Or sword and shield and sword and buckler.
Yep.
So I need to run and use the restroom, so I'm going to switch over to this one. What? Well,
What's this one?
this is the one with different.
Sword one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So,
Switch to this one, and I'll talk about it while you're gone.
all right, I'll be right back, guys. Listen to Tyler.
Okay, this is actually a really cool technical sheet that Canadian Buhurt went out and put out for a couple of his longswords that he was selling. And sorry, I can't really read chat. My computer is decently far away from me, and I am not that good at seeing in a very screen shared small view. So it gives you it gives you the weight, it gives you the point of balance, which for dueling weapons is super important. Especially since all of these are sitting right at that like 2.3-ish kilogram weight, which is the absolute max weight that you can do for a two-handed sword for duels. Longsword max weight is 2.3 with an upward error limit of 200 grams. So technically 2.5 is. But he is a machinist. And he's a machinist that started making weapons. So these are CAD files that I sent out to him. He got them laser cut out, machined them, heat treated them, made the handles, forged out the crossguard, and those pommels are welded on. It is like a 1 pound mace on the back end of your longsword. It hurts like a son of a bitch when you can get hit by it. And that's why I love them. They're really, really balanced in the hands, so they feel great, even though they're heavy. And they have a max length handle. So I have a very long fulcrum to snap my shots in. And it's an odd technical side of the sport that I enjoy. Not most people don't like look at this kind of thing and go, oh, this is really, really interesting. They go, I want a sword and I want to hit people. I want to know how the balance of a sword works. I want to know how it's going to feel in my hands, because the point of balance is super important for if this was a 2.5 kilogram longsword and it was balanced 2-3 inches past the hand, it's going to feel like a lead brick. Where these ones, the part of balance being on the crossguard means I can pull with my offhand and just machine gun shots in all day long with it. Harry, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, go to the next one. I just
Sweet.
nerded out about all the fun stuff.
So yeah,
Oh, just different longsword.
just different longsword. Just
Yeah, they can have different style applications. They have different pommels, different cross guards. Technically, they can have different blade profiles and like fuller setups. Um, most of them aren't going to. Most of them are just going to be the very simple. I think it's a Type 4 blade with a teardrop pommel and a straight cross guard because it's generic and easy to make.
think this is a great sword. I could be wrong.
I personally can't see that.
Um,
It's washed out and very, very small for me.
yeah.
Probably is. I mean, the only real difference of a greatsword is it's a longsword that's about a foot longer, and they have a way bigger handle. Uh, you really need to be able to keep consistent. What is it? It's consistent momentum. Oh yeah, that's a great sword. That's definitely a great sword.
Okay.
You need to keep consistent momentum to keep that blade moving because they're sitting right around like that 3 kilogram mark, so about 6.5 pounds. Um, and they're beefy and they're fun to use. They're shit for melees, but I know guys that do them.
Yeah.
Um, the they're just a dueling weapon essentially. I know people that try to use them in melees, and go ahead. I'll gladly fight someone that wants to use a great sword or a long sword in a melee, but it's not recommended. Okay, what do we got next? Let's fly through these. Two-handed falchion.
Yep.
This is my preferred style of a two-handed falchion. It has the same profile of my one-handed falchion. The tip is a little bit wider, so it actually hits like a two-handed axe. But the opponent can't grab my blade, which makes it really easy to not let them steal it. HMB, I don't enjoy doing it just because I can't grab my blade either. Where IMCF, I'm allowed to grab my own blade. So I'll use this like a two-handed axe that someone else can't grab the top of, and I just start swinging away. Um, Again, they get a lot of variation, just like a one-handed falchion. All
Oh
these
yeah.
swords have so many forms of documentation and different blade styles and different lengths and how is this thing supposed to be. So you get a couple styles like this that are more universally used, um, and it's because they're effective. With that forward weight, it hits really hard. If you can get a good connecting shot with the two-handed falchion, it will your opponent will not like you, and that,
Uh,
that's the point.
so we're staring at your chest, Schwartz.
What?
We're staring at your chest.
Oh yeah, because I'm leaning forward.
Do you want
I
me?
was like, I can see my photo. I'm inside it. No, you're
Yeah.
all good. It's a little bit off now, but I don't give a shit.
I'll
I had to
say.
lean forward to be able to see those lighter ones.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It is a-okay. You just need to make it a little bit taller because I should be able to. Yeah, I can come in a little bit closer then. That's fine.
Okay. And then we have one that's I just put big boy because it's got that.
Oh, oh, that's.
Isn't
I
that
love that
buddies?
one. So technically, that's a glaive blade on a fucking two-handed falchion handle. Um, so that's a Fassart. Uh, yeah, Fassart. That is Micah Nelson's old melee weapon for IMCF 2018, I want to say.
Okay.
Those are all of his weapons for IMCF, or some of them. One-handed mace, his two-handed falchion, and holy fuck, that thing hurts. I love it. It's made out of 5 mil 4130, and it's just
Ooh.
it feels nice. That's the sword that made me fall in love with two-handed falchions.
Nice.
Well, yeah, there's a documented polearm with that on it. Technically, I could make that a dueling weapon for Ashley.
So speaking of pole arms, you want to go into pole arms?
Hell yeah!
Pole
So
arm.
pole arms are basically just two-handed axes. Um, did we split up pole arms away from two-handed axes?
Yes.
Okay. So the big difference of a pole arm from a two-handed axe is a two-handed axe is going to be roughly around 3 to 4 foot. They normally have smaller heads on them. Pole arms are typically later period because that's where you get pole axes and pole hammers, and they name stuff slightly differently. But you also get these earlier period ones like this, which is a bardiche, which is also a Micah Nelson bardiche that hurts a lot, like a lot.
Yeah.
But your bigger blade styles, another differentiation between two-handed axes and pole arms are war weapons. Every single one of them was designed to kill people and or horses. Um, two-handed axes are typically civilian weapons that got used in war. Same with one-handed axes. Um, you'll see there's a bill hook if you ever look one of those up, or a bill axe. It is a tree trimming axe that's about 6 foot long, and they would hack off branches with it. And well, you raise an army and you get guys that work in the field. They know how to use a bill, and they'll just use a bill on a person. And that's where the two-handed axes come in. Where these ones were more knightly weapons. A bardiche was made for a man at arms to be able to defend against cavalry and unarmored opponents, which is what that is.
Okay.
It's a big blade, can fuck up anything that's made out of flesh. Let's go to the next one.
So when you were talking about small heads,
Yep. So we still call it a pole arm. This would still, in my mind, this would fall under two-handed axe, even though it's about 5 foot long. This is made by Brad. This is one of Skinner's axes, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, this looks like one of Skinner's axes. It looks like one. It might not be, but this is a minimum axe size on a big ass stick, sport optimized. It has a little bit of a historical allegory to it, but again, it would have been a farming implement that they just put on a longer stick to hit hard. And they really, really hurt in this sport because there isn't a large contact area for the speed and size of the head. So you can get those going quick.
Yeah.
Logan Ballinger used my 4-footer, or no, it's 3.5 foot, one that's similar to this, retired 2 helmets in one tournament.
Nice.
It was interesting to watch. Let's go to the next one. But you'll see a lot of two-handed axes that look like that.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's the late period. So that is a hammered back pole arm. Probably German with how that blade style looks. This was 100% made for war. Now it is a modern reproduction, so it doesn't have a claw hammer in the back like it's supposed to. And of course it has rounded edges. They made just a flat, welded, like 4 mil thick, 5 mil thick plate on the back end. But it still feels like it. It has the handguard, which is actually what that collar is for. It's so that you can ram your hand up into it if someone like strikes at it. It actually blocks it. Mine has a lot of dents there because I don't hard block, but I block with the haft, and they'll hit that, and I don't have to worry about it sliding down and smashing my thumbs because I don't like getting hit in the hands. But they swing really, really hard. And then a different style, this one. If I could see, like, I want someone that knows how to use one of those that's like 7 foot long and just be my number 2. Ooh. And I will just start grabbing people and just letting them blast them into the next year. But style-wise, these all function the same way. The biggest difference between pole arms and two-handed axes, how you use them is the length. I use a 3-foot axe way different than I use a 5-footer. And you'll learn it as you go on through the sport. If you decide you really want to be a two-handed axe fighter, you want to be a polearm fighter, you got to learn, how do I use this effectively? Because I will grab that from someone. If they don't know how to use it, I'm going to steal their weapon. I'm
Right.
going to use it on them, and I don't care. I will steal it and drop my own weapon and beat them with their own weapon. I've only ever got to do it once.
I don't think that's technically illegal.
It's legal. So, you do it. So I did it to old Des Moines captain. Old Des Moines captain. Steve? Is that his name? Mongol Kit.
My dad was yelling at me. Do what now?
Mongol Kit and Des Moines. What was his name? Your old captain.
Oh, Steve.
It was Steve. So I was using a two-handed axe. He was using a two-handed axe. He hit me in the ribs. I grabbed his axe. You can grab half to a weapon. I grabbed it, and he tried pulling away, and he lost it. So I dropped my two-handed axe and just used his because I already had control of the weapon.
Fair.
There's nothing illegal against it. Now, if I didn't have a weapon when I did that, it would be illegal.
Right. I think that's where I was thinking about that.
Yep. If you can strip a weapon from someone, technically you can use it. They might be mad at you, but I think it's funny hitting someone with their own weapon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Ooh, the bone breaker. These ones hurt a lot. It's the small head dynamic. These ones were designed just to hurt people. That's the reason those blades are shaped the way they are. They connect really, really solidly. They have a really nice forward weight to them. I want one. I'll get one eventually. But yeah, they're this nice middle ground of the really heavy pole axes and those super light nearly one-handed axe heads on a pole arm. This is a good middle ground for intermediate fighters. If they don't think they can swing for the fences, as long as they know they have their targeting right, those will do the job.
Yeah, I think one of our guys, Matt, I believe, has one of these.
Yep, I've got to swing it. It's they're scary.
It's odd.
A little bit. It's got an interesting balance point to it.
It does.
Well, and if does he have the actual bone breaker, or does he have one that Adam used to make?
No, it's from Buhurt Tech.
Okay. I don't like the ones that Adam made because they're too long. The head lengths are too far out, so it makes the center off the haft. The center of balance is off the haft, and it gets it so it torques a lot more easily. Where this one, that head is still relatively short enough that you can get good shots off with it.
Yeah. Rufio, it was actually Matt who had done it. It wasn't Alex. We had gone over video and watched it, but no, Matt had actually punctured Sean from St. Louis.
Holland?
Yep. His leg.
Jesus.
But
is Parabanos leg?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my god, that's 1.2 mil, dude.
Yeah. But no, Matt punctured that. Let me see if I can send you a picture. So I think Sean actually sent me.
It happens, bud.
It does. We felt so bad, and we're like, you know what? We're not using this because, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah.
That was a little disrespectful. Did he get fixed?
I think they just, they just patched it.
They just drove and patched it?
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do. It's not hard to do.
No.
The only shitty part is, I believe,
Spud.
The patch has to be on the inside.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're looking,
Whoa!
yeah,
Holy shit! So it didn't puncture, but it cracked it. Damn near did.
yeah.
But on
Oh.
1.2 mil, that's. Oh, is that the video of it?
No, that was a video for something else. I went the wrong way. So there's the patch on the inside.
Okay, good. They got a good patch on it then. Yep, you
Yeah.
just drill it out and
Yep.
fix it and pray
Yeah.
you don't get hit there a lot.
Yeah. It was actually one of Sean's new guys that was borrowing his likes.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I hate when armor breaks on other people. That
Yep.
it's yours. It's so sad. Ooh, so that's the end of pole arms?
That's the end of pole arms. So we're
Axes.
down to axes, our last category.
Hand axes and axes. This is my favorite thing. So this photo is from Brett Skinner, who I think makes the best one-handed and two-handed axes for this sport in the United States. Like there are better guys outside of the United States, but he makes them at a very good price point. They're simple, and he does a lot of research. He does research on how they make the heads. Like my hand axe is a cast 4140 hand axe, and I will not do armor tests on my teammates with it anymore because I put a decent crease in one of my buddy's new helmets.
Ooh.
Without trying. I was like maybe 40%, and it bit into the helmet.
Ouch.
And then his two-handed axes are fucking nasty. They just hurt. They're just made to hurt. And he does, he fiber fixes the handles, but has them resin coated so that they're covered, so they still pass. But I've seen a guy use one of his axes. It broke in half, and because of the fiber fix, he didn't realize it until he checked someone, and it flexed. And then he just threw the opponent, ran to the other side of the list, put his axe on the side of the list, grabbed a new one, and ran away.
Oh, God.
But he had a weapon the entire time because it
Yeah.
didn't break to the point where he couldn't use it. That's why he does what he does. Brett is really, really big on making it so, like, his shields, I hard block pole arms, and I don't feel it. There's a bunch of guys that were using it at Carnage, and they were just punching pole arms out of the sky like it was nothing. And from heavy hitters. And they're built to take the abuse. And he designs all of his stuff to take abuse. Because he is one of the heaviest hitters in the country. And so he wants it to be to his standards, which is beautiful. So those are just generic axes, two-handers and one-handers. And we got a couple different head styles, handle styles here and there for one. These, your next couple, I believe, are one-handers.
They should be.
A lot of these are going to be the same because I'm sorry, I have a specific taste for axes, and most of these these photos are for me.
There's not many one-handed axes. You have languettes down the front of them. That's the metal piece in front, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
No, there are, dude. There are. So
I normally don't see a whole lot of people with them.
No. So the traditional style is just gonna be a woodcutter axe. It's the simple, like straight top, little bit of a beard, nothing fancy to it. But 90% of people are gonna use. There is a pickaxe style, which is just a straight blade. Or no, it's not a pickaxe. It's a woodsman's axe, like a carving axe. That's documentable. That just goes straight out. It's weird. Then there is the bearded, where it touches the haft, like Bishman makes. There's the really, really long ones, and then there's crescents, and that's pretty much it for one-handed axes that you see in the sport. There are way more, but this one is arguably the most common, and it's because it works.
Yeah.
They're nice.
So
Go to the next one.
next one.
Oh, yep, there's a Joseph Don. This is why I want one of his hand axes. They're painful. He does a traditional wrap and welded style. So that's actually it's a forge welded bit and a wrapped eye. And then he hammers out that he like splits the eye so he gets the hammer back on the back end, so that's all one solid piece. And he forge welds the blade in there. So they hit super, super hard and have a really nice weight, but it's centered on the haft instead of being like blade heavy. So you can swing it super, super hard like a hammer. And it has, if you check on the very, very bottom, you see a little tiny eyelet. It's got a little D-ring on there that he puts the lanyard on, and he ties it to you'll tie it to your gauntlet so you don't lose it.
Interesting.
Oh, I do with my axe. I love it. My hand axe can't come out of my hand,
Fair.
which it could be a problem. If I lose my weapon, I'm gonna have a very hard time putting a weapon in my left hand.
Yeah.
See, this is one where it kind of comes back down towards the haft. Those ones suck because you only ever hit with that very, very tip. That one will punch through armor. I've seen that one punch through armor, actually. They hurt. The triangle blades, like, oh my god. They suck. I would use one for a two-hander. I wouldn't use one for a one-hander, though.
Yeah.
Just preference-wise. I like my hand being able to come up all the way to the axe, like underneath the axe head if I need to punch.
Yeah.
And like, that one's mine. Is that one mine? Yeah, that one's mine. That was my hand axe. It is 25 inches long. It is long as shit for a hand axe. And I think I'm going to get a longer one. I'm going to get like a 36-inch. It's going to be just below a two-handed axe. But with a really, really small head, so I can whip it really hard, but I'm probably going to use it as a two-hander. Like a little baby two-hander.
God.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been seeing people do it. It's a grapple stick.
Yeah.
But that's what white axes have become. It's really, they're that long. I used to fight with a 12-inch hand axe. And I loved it because I do metal shaping and framing, and so like swinging a hammer is super common. Like how it feels, I can blow apart a 12 to 16-inch hand axe into people really, really hard. But it's hard to grapple with one of those. So I switched to 24, so I can still get those shots one-handed. They're a little less effective than my shorter ones. But if I get into a grapple, I can actually grab just below the head of that axe and get a really good twist and toss.
Nice.
That is a 51-inch two-handed axe from Brett Skinner. Again, most of these axe heads are generic. Like, I know these photos are, we're gonna look at 1,000 of them, but they're pretty much all the same. Oh, never mind. There's the Guild Master. From Buhurt Tech. This is a European style that was really common in the United States for this general shape for probably 5 years. Basically till COVID. This was a super common two-handed axe to see on a 3-foot axe. With the change in the sport, with how Dominus and Warlords have been pushing everything, it became less common. There's still guys that use them. There's like Greg Fisher still loves it.
You still there, Schwartz?
They're just not as common. You don't see people running around with these mid-size axe heads on short halves because the grapple game has changed. The whole sport has changed.
Oh, absolutely.
In the last 2-3 years. It's
most
beautiful to
definitely.
watch.
It's changed like 4 times within the last 5 years.
Yeah. When Warlords became a thing, which was about 5 years ago. Because I have photos from when Charlie and them came up when they were first just became a team.
Yep. Dude, I remember that because we were
It
actually
was
one
such a
of their
good event.
first chapter matches.
Yeah, and it was great. I loved fighting them, and it was beautiful to watch how they grew.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
I wish we had the funds back then to be able to build a setup like they have, and hopefully I can get an actual like gym set up to where we can run shit like that here instead of just
Well,
renting out one location. I want to be able to
that's
train 7 days a week again. I
that's
miss it.
that's going to be the goal for us here in Iowa.
Oh, I know. I want to talk to Zach about it. Hopefully, we can find a. Hopefully, one of the investors that he talks to wants to say,
Just
"Nah, I want to do it in Omaha." And I'll be like, "Hey, buddy, I got you."
no. We just be like, hey, Schwartz, come to Des Moines. We got you.
No, you can't get my wife to move to Iowa, dude. It was a thought. Iowa, there were a couple houses in Pleasantville that I was looking at real hard. I wanted to move out there because I wanted to be near Josh and I wanted to be near you guys.
Yeah.
But if we move anywhere, it's going to be Dallas. I miss living in Texas. I miss fighting with those guys. I miss being on the Warlords. Um, well, technically, I wasn't on the Warlords. I was on the Marshals way
Okay.
back when. Um, Back in like 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2017. Actually, shit, it might have been 2016. Um, Back when that team was brand spanking new. This one it's called the Eclipse. So that is a minimum size axe head, but it's super thick. So it's actually really heavy.
Interesting.
It feels weird. It doesn't feel like you're swinging an axe, but it sure as fuck hits like one.
That's good to know.
I like that on like a 4-footer. 3.5 to 4 foot.
Yeah.
Those things are really, really nice at that length. And they don't get caught up as easily because they don't have that big ass beard to be able to get caught onto. So if
Right.
somebody hooks the haft,
You know-
you just push forward and rip back and it'll pop out.
Yeah. Realistically, that's why I liked my Micah Nelson axes. They were really
Yeah.
fucking nice. I had the 3mm and a 3mm one blackened, and then the one I'm currently using, which is 5mm.
Yeah, so those ones are based off of the same documentation as the Guildmaster.
Yeah.
Those are actually the axes that I was talking about. Like they're super, super common. Most teams have one. They're just laying around. I want to I have the files for them. We can go get them made.
Yeah.
I've thought about getting new ones made that are actually like HMB legal, so like the full wrapped eye and everything.
Huh.
I don't have a need for way more weapons right now. I'm more interested on
But why not?
getting paid events and getting it to where I can have some extra armor laying on the side.
Fair.
Where like Ashley's in my helmet right now. Zach was in my armor a couple weeks ago while he was waiting on his new chest piece. To me, having spare armor more than an armory of weapons is more important.
Yeah.
And it's been proven because that's the reason why the Executioners can grow new fighters so quickly and Warlords can grow new fighters so quickly. They both have an assortment of just loner gear.
Yeah.
Warlords have like 25 extra helmets. It's an obscene amount. I would love to have like 5. If I can, by the end of 2023, if I can have a couple extra loner kits, I'll keep the stuff I have currently and replace the arms and legs I have, and then like get a new chest piece and get my wife's armor and get a couple helmets from Josh and just use those paid events that we have coming up to be able to facilitate that. So that when I have a new fighter come in, I can say like, hey, let's get you started. I want you to be in something that we know is safe, and that is gonna roughly fit you if it's generic sizing. While
Right.
you're waiting to get your own armor,
Oh.
or you can buy the stuff that we have off of you or off of us. Like, let's say I hand you a helmet, you really, really like it. You say, "Fuck, I want this helmet," but I don't have $650, $700 to buy it right now. I was like,
Yeah.
cool. You don't get to keep it. I'll let you use it. You have to pay it up. I want to pay my fighters for going to events, especially ones that are going to be like getting a new armor. I know I've talked to Zach about this with you guys, about saying like, hey, if you're coming out to one of our events, and yeah, you might be using loaner gear, but you're giving us your time. You're helping out with support. You're helping make it so an event that we make money on gets taken care of. I want to be able to take $50, $100 off of whatever you owe us, because the team's going to make that money.
Yeah.
And so you say, cool, well, in lieu of payment, we're going to take that, we're going to throw it towards gear, and we'll give them a little bit extra. And then you get people that are wanting to be involved on all levels, like Risa is, like Cody I know does, like Avery did for the longest time before she got her armor. Fuck, I did it. I did it when I first started. I've done it like when I can't fight. Like my knee got jacked up.
Yeah.
I will go and run support because you need that. If you don't have it and you can't incentivize people coming out to it, especially if you can't put them in good armor. I would like to be able to say, hey, bud, you come and do these weekends of fighting, or like, let's go out to Des Moines. Let's go help them run their event. I want to be able to throw that money back towards them so that, hey, this really expensive purchase isn't going to be really fucking expensive anymore. It'll become manageable, or they can throw $50 at a time towards it. And then when it's paid off, it's theirs. They don't have to think about it anymore. I'll just hand it off to them and say, you have a good day. And I'll use that money and I'll go buy a new one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the way it should be done, and it'll help grow a team out a lot. So that's the goal for 2023. And once Little John and Zach are making armor, I'm going to go out and help them a bit, and hopefully go help Josh make helmets and get a small armory just put together in my basement, and then be able to build everything up. It'll be fun. So what's the next axe we got? Because that's the reason why I don't buy a whole lot of more weapons, because I have enough. Oh, that's a weird one. That one's mounted on the haft. So
Yeah.
that's mounted like a Bardiche, so that it doesn't break as easily. But again, just different stylistic choices. I don't think that's documentable, but it's really fun to swing. How many more do we have? Jesus, I sent you a lot.
One more. Well, this is more of a
Hey.
group.
Oh yeah, group. Because we didn't talk about like one of the best weapons in the sport that this actually shows. Bucklers, shields. Holy shit.
Which is funny because I have a little thing here. Shields.
You have stuff for shield? Oh, I don't have stuff for shield. I didn't send you stuff for shield. But I love bucklers.
Well, you
punch
sent me a
shield.
punch shield, and then you sent me the buckler. So I'm like, all right, screenshot buckler, and then I'm going to put that with the punch shield. So
Fair.
I kind of cheated.
That's fair. I didn't think I sent you. I did not send you that punch shield.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Oh my god, where is that? I need to find what file. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that photo came from. Interesting. Okay. Apparently I did. So yeah, one of the most underwritten weapons in the sport is not a weapon. It's a fucking shield.
I could have sworn you did.
Bucklers hurt a lot. And punch shields, I mean, a little bit of extra protection, if it's fitted to you right and you really know how to use it. Like, I punch the shit out of people with my punch shield. I love it. But at the same time, I know it's going to protect my hand. It's going to protect my elbow. I can protect my thigh with it if I need to. And bucklers, I just box with. I start punching people in the ribs or the hip flexor. Or if you really don't like the person, you punch them in the armpit, like the second and third rib where it's open and it sucks. Or you push up to get their arm off of you. Like, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with shields and bucklers. They are underrated, and I'm so glad that they're coming back, and like people are using them properly. Is that all you have for shields, though?
Yeah, I have other ones from Matt when I was talking to him about shields a while back.
I put money on this is about from Matt then because I don't remember that photo.
I only save
Let's see the other one.
pictures.
Oh, you only saved those ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's it, bud.
I've got
Other than
other
talking
ones,
about-
but
Other than talking about gauntlets and stuff, which I mean, really go to a good gauntlet person. Do not buy anything unless your leadership says it's a good idea. Go to reputable people. Please,
yes.
dear God, do not buy cheap gauntlets if you do not know they are going to be okay.
Unless you know somebody who can modify them to make them work for you.
No. Now, I've done that, but I trust myself, and I didn't put any of my teammates in those gauntlets.
Zach modified Ashley's fairly well.
Yes, but hers weren't cheap gauntlets.
They were cheap. The
cheap
Nadler ones?
And yes, he bought them on sale. There's a difference between it being a cheap price wise and being a cheap gauntlet. Like my gauntlets from I got 2 pairs of gauntlets from Vladensky, my Path of Armory. One pair was $320. The other pair was $450. Or no, it was $300. Now they're $320. So it's $300. $300 for a pair of gauntlets is really, really cheap. I know they aren't a cheap manufacturer. He made my $800 Pro Fight gauntlets. He's the same guy that made those back when he was working for Armory Smith. So just because price-wise is cheap doesn't mean they're cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those ones are cheap, but they're from Nadler, so you know they are getting made over in India. But he really does test his shit, and he really makes sure that they are 100% okay.
He does.
Before he ever sells anything.
Which I find funny because one of the pair of gauntlets that I have currently were a prototype, and I sold them because, I needed money when I was out in California because I was broke going to school. Sold them. Found out the guy that I sold them to Santos. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you I'll give you $250 for those. He's like, okay, I'll even clean them up for you. So I have those gauntlets back, and I absolutely love them.
Nice.
But one thing that people hate is they don't open all the way. They only open halfway.
Oh, you got the ones that do that bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, I hate those.
Yeah.
It's such an easy fix. You just need to add a knuckle lame, and then it's done.
Well, that's the funny thing is, I've seen other gauntlets modified after this one that has that knuckle lame, so it has a full extension.
Up all the way.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I like these prototypes. Fuck that.
Yeah, if they fit you, they fit you, and I mean that's one of those things of you really gotta figure out what fits you the best.
Yeah.
I need my hand to be able to open. I've also found out I need to be able to articulate my thumbs.
Yeah.
Because if I can't curl my thumb in right, it's really hard for me to hold the sword because I've been so used to basically my gauntlets don't have knuckle articulation. They articulate the base, so I have to I basically push the side of my thumb up to the side of my sword to be able to hold it. But because of that, I can't use a one-handed axe with those gauntlets.
Interesting.
They're Pro Fight gauntlets, dude. They're strapped down they're meant to have a one-handed sword in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I also know that I can take a two-handed axe to the top of my knuckle, and I don't care.
You really have me wondering where the hell I got this frickin'...
Dude, I have no idea.
This
I don't even know who
picture
made
from.
that.
I'm like, I literally just saved...
The reverse teardrop is an interesting style. I know Skinner makes one and he loves it. It's what he uses for pro fights.
Yeah.
And then he uses that little oval for melees.
Who is it? Matt Richardson. Is it Matt or Matthew Richardson?
Matthew. That So that's the Richardson shield.
I,
Those things are heavy. Well, are there any questions? Because I think we're done. Anything in the
yeah.
chat that we need to say?
Hannah says, I'm listening to you, but I am in bed, so if you do not get a chance to say goodnight, I have passed out and fallen asleep, so good night in advance.
That's fair. Good
Yeah.
night.
Good night,
I'm
Hannah.
sorry we went really long. I told you we could chat about bullshit a very long time. It has been 3.5
Three
hours.
and a half hours. Which I've got nothing else. That's all of the shields that I've got. We've gone over weapons. We've gone over weapons. So swords. So
Armor.
falchions, arming
Yeah.
swords, long swords,
Um,
great swords, two-handed falchions, pole arms, axes, armor, the different types, the Mongolian Eastern kit, different under protection that you can get, brigs, plates, you know. We've talked about carnage. We've talked about multiple different helmets, nasals, wolf ribs, bar boots, ROAs, sugarloaf, clap visors, late period helmets. So yeah. That's
just a lot over there. I'd say the biggest thing is just going forward. I don't know how many like new people are going to be watching it, and I know you'll be posting up in YouTube like this week.
yeah, I should have it there tomorrow at the latest.
Okay. Oh yeah. My biggest thing is to all new fighters, talk to your leadership. If you're in the Plains region, your leadership probably has my number.
We
Go
don't
through your
need you.
documentation. Make sure that you're following AC and you're not just buying don't buy extra stuff that you don't need to buy.
Right. Talk to your captains
My
before you buy anything.
Yeah, I will be an open resource to anybody in our region, basically anybody in the country. I don't care. I get random talks, random chats about a bunch of documentation stuff, because I want the sport to be as historically documentable as possible, and I don't want to have to think about your authenticity. I want it to just work, and to do that, I really gotta make sure that you understand, like, hey, this is how this fits. I'm not going to wear a Mongolian kit with the Saleh. Oh, I've seen that one too. Mongolian kit with the Saleh.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
that's interesting.
It was filling in a gap. Dude borrowing a full kit. That's what fit him. It was weird. But getting it so that when you go to a major tournament like Carnage or the AMCF qualifier or ASNAC, the ACS National, or even the ACW National on Mother's Day, people aren't gonna look at you and be like, dude, what the fuck are you wearing? And we know you're gonna be safe. Right? We don't need a repeat of a new fighter putting on loner armor and now having a dent in his bicep because he got gapped.
Right.
That happened at NBC. The dude, brand new fighter, and yeah, I could see his bone.
Ugh.
I just saw him when Ashley and them came up to practice before Carnage, and he has a dent where it cut the muscle fibers and they could not reconnect. And so his
Ouch.
bicep is shaped weird now because he was wearing rear braces and shoulders that weren't meant for him. And they
No.
weren't hung properly. And he felt safe. He was technically legal, but on a tournament that was that level, which I don't consider NBC to be competition level. It's
No.
not tournament level fighting. It's high beer level fighting. But there was money on the line.
Oh yeah.
There were money and prizes on the line. Like, we were going for blood. And so was Oklahoma. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I wish I didn't get injured right before that fight because they were coming out swinging. And you really got to make sure you're safe. So always double check your armors. I've given him a link tree that has most of my guys' armor stuff. If you look up Tango Bravo Schwartz on TikTok or Instagram, I will always answer messages there about fighting shit, or find me on Facebook, Tyler Schwartz. I will 90% of the time just be a photo of me and kit. I enjoy helping people getting this stuff taken care of, and like this is a side that I know a lot of people don't like researching. They just go, I want this helmet. I want to be safe. What do I want? Tell me where to buy it. And if that's what you need, I'll do it. I'll point you in the direction and tell you how long typically stuff takes. Or if you say, I really want to do this weird kit, like I have a guy who wants to do a Gothic kit. Like full on Gothic, probably spending $5,000. We're going to get him an armor first and something that's safe and easily available. Right. And over the next year or two, we're going to get him in a full Gothic kit because that's what he wants to do. And we've already found the armor that we want to go to.
But
you just have to make sure that you're being smart about it.
Yeah.
That's all there really is to it.
Hannah,
and get Aaron in a better kit.
Yeah. Hannah, I know you have questions. What are they? We'll answer a few before we wrap it all up. I know you're tired.
I'm wide awake, so I don't give a shit.
I've been drinking so much Mountain Dew right now since we've been doing this. I'm about halfway through my Code Red. I've got another Mountain Dew. I've drank 2 of the Pitch Blacks, 20 ounces. So
I have to do leather work after this.
Oh, buddy. All right, you got one last question, Hannah. What is it? What you got?
Is it how many times I have touched Aaron's balls and or butt? The answer is too many.
Well, not as many times as
or not enough, depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah. Tell me everything from point A to point B. All of it. What do you mean from point A to point B? You go in a straight line from point A to point B.
Hey, point A to point B is point A is right now. Point B is y'all have a good night and we're done. Ta-da! Damn, you were supposed to turn off the stream right then.
Sorry, I was like, what is this screen over into my other side? Like, I'm staring at 3 different monitors, and I'm like, what is that? But it's not on this screen.
Say something else?
I will bug you later. All right, Hannah.
Oh.
We've got D&D tomorrow, so we will chat then.
You have fun with that, bud.
Yeah. But for those,
D&D game running.
Dude, if you ever do one online, let me know.
I can't do Sundays. I run practice all Sunday, bud. I'm gonna be at the gym for like 6 hours.
I said if you ever run one, let me know. I said someday, not Sunday. Someday.
I'll try to let you know. Let's get the contracted and paid fight figured out first, and build up the area a little bit more, and then I'll be happy to go start doing D&D again. I stopped last time, and I'm gonna get it running eventually.
Yeah.
We need to get Omaha to grow to the point where we have people that are consistently showing up to practice and wanting to actually run the team. I know Jeremiah and Joe are really stepping up.
Nice.
It's just time to get. We need to go recruit a couple more people. We need to get some guys started and set up and get it going again.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to mark out to all of my stuff. I will, but that is that. Or get a Chimera's practice set up here in Omaha soon. I'll probably send invite for out that in March.
Yeah.
Try to invite the guys that are a little further out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next couple events coming up that we potentially have coming. So,
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the one on Mother's Day that's going to be in Greenfield,
Iowa.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. 3 or 4 teams. I'm trying to build up a Chimeras team for it. I know we invited you guys on out. Zach
Yep.
said if you guys don't have anything, you're going to be coming to it.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then um, Wichita is going to bring a couple of their guys. With it being the same weekend as the ACW Nationals, it's a little bit weird
Yeah.
because what is it? Iron Haven. Most of their guys are going to the ACW Nationals. Zach Reeves is sadly going to the ACW Nationals, and so is Ted. So I've lost a couple. Like Ted and Zach wanted to fight with Chimeras. I lost them.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he wants to send his other guys up here, and Kansas City wants to send some up. So we'll probably be able to make like a Merc team. And when I get the final information for it, I'll invite the Hellhounds out too.
Okay.
Because fuck it, it's close.
Yeah. And realistically, you know, depending on how well people get with each other, you know, do a thing like get everybody's names and kind of draw teams that way. Just pull names out of hats, just so it's random.
Ooh, buddy, that'd be fun. It'd also be fun to do I'll probably do it one day. If we get a decent set of guys put together like that, I would love to do a like dodgeball draw.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Choose three captains and say you get a pick.
What it would be is okay. Everybody puts their name in the hat or whatever helmet, and pull three names. Those three people are captains.
Oh, son of a bitch, that would be fun.
And then literally everybody like, okay, first pick, pull another name out of the helmet, and then just do that down the line, back and forth.
See, I wouldn't do straight pulling out of the helmet. I would let them choose. I think the true random draw would be interesting, but it makes it a lot harder for you to on the leadership side, and you should fucking know this. You should be able like you can train to be able to have anybody on your team, but like if I was to choose, like I know you guys have really good fighters.
Yeah.
If so, let's say it's three captains. Actually, let's say four. Let's say Casey comes up because they have a full roster. So let's say it's Zach Reeves, Zach Fry, myself, and Brandon. So we round robin it. My first choice is probably you or Josh. If Josh Patterson comes up, I think he's my second choice. I think you're my first choice.
Okay.
Because I've fought with you, I know how you operate, and I know you'd be able to fill a gap that's going to be hard to fill.
Yeah.
Now, are there people that would probably be better for me to grab? Yes. Would it be like I'd grab you before I'd grab Ted because I'd probably still be able to grab Ted because people don't understand that he is super good at fucking hitting. You just have to give him a little bit of support, and he's solid. Like scary solid. Like you put him up with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, and shit kind of gets weird.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't pick Matt because I haven't seen him fight enough to know if like where he could fill.
Who? Matt Evans?
Yeah, titanium kit.
Yeah.
Like I know he's a good fighter, and I know he's a good striker, and I know he's a good thrower.
Thrower?
I wouldn't know how.
We're working on him on that.
He's all right.
He's not. He's okay. But when we did our chapter match against Minnesota, every time he went to go throw somebody, he had gone down with them.
Oh yeah, I talked to Joe about that today actually. Before they started practice, I think I know what caused it, and we just spent like 5 minutes on the phone to try to emphasize like you need to have your fist in between your opponent, and like your offhand that's not doing an underhook needs to be pushing out while you do the throw to get it so that they separate off of you when you get it. So I believe your team actually worked on that today. So that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't grab him because I don't know how he functions in the list. Now, round 3 probably. But I would love to see how how your team operates, knowing like I know some of my guys really well, I don't know some of them really well, and get it to like fit and match.
Yeah.
Even then, I would love to run a true A team B team like we did years ago,
Oh,
where
absolutely.
we did the Iron Horde A and Iron Horde B, and like you guys didn't win all of them. Like Iron Horde B came out, and I know it was the national team training, but we came out and like showed what we could do. And even though you technically had the better team, it wasn't a clean sweep. You just had to get used to seeing how each other fights, and it'll come with experience, and it'll come with doing a lot of these little fights. And I'm planning on coming out to a lot of the Des Moines Ren fairs.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come out like every other week. Well, it's 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna come out the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sounds like I am gonna be stuck going to Dragon Con, fighting with the Knights of Wakanda,
Okay.
which will be dope. I'll be their token white guy, especially since my last name means black. We had a good chuckle about that last year.
Nice.
Um,
So, yeah.
but I don't like, and my family's going to Dragon Con this year, so I'm going to spend some time with them. So I won't be able to make the first week, but I'm going to try to make the next two. And I'll
Okay.
be sending a team out. I think I'm going to send a team out to the second week and like bring a full team. I want to bring like a stacked team because that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ashley might be going to Dragon Con potentially.
Hey, really?
I
You
think.
fucking should.
I could be wrong. And also, fuck you, Cody, for taking a nap today when you should have been at practice.
Oh, don't worry, Cody. Come to practice next week. Or fuck, come to practice tomorrow. I'll beat you up.
He lives like 2 hours from us and like probably 4 hours from you.
I know. He can come to practice though. He'll be fine. Come to practice next weekend.
Just video Skype him. Make sure he's doing it.
No, I want to hit him.
Bah ha 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 ha. All right, well, it's late. It's 11:30 Central Time, so 12:30 Eastern.
3.5 hours, man.
Yeah, buddy.
See you next Sunday.
Potentially. Good night,
Yeah,
Rufio.
you might. Who you having on next week?
Do what?
Who you having on next week?
I don't know. I have a special interview going on actually next week. This is
Are you gonna say what it is?
It's a personal interview. Did I tell you who it was?
No, that's why I'm trying to get you to say what you're gonna have next week so people know.
I'm going to have a good buddy of mine, David Dixon.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be a fun. He's got a really interesting story in this sport.
Yep.
Tell him I say hi.
I
It's
will.
been quite a long time since I've seen him.
Yeah.
It's been like since 2018.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have a one-on-one personal interview with David Dixon next week.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited because, I've talked a lot of shit to him when he was down in California at he was either in California or out at Reno doing a tournament, and I was giving him so much shit. His little fiance was trying to stick up for him, and I was just going on, and she's like, I don't know who this Eric guy is, but he's giving you such a hard time. Oh, I know him. He's a great guy. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you're just talking shit. It's what
Yeah,
you do. That's how I know you love me, bud.
Giving him such a hard time. It was so nice.
Oh, I can't wait to tune in, man.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And then you're coming by next Sunday with the rest of the guys?
Yeah, as long as everything
Yeah.
pans out properly. So
I think it should.
yeah.
I should. I don't know if KC's coming up or not anymore, but I hope they do. They need to bring that helmet for you.
Yeah, I just want to look at it. He told me don't buy it
If
from
not, I'm
him.
gonna steal it. I'm gonna try grabbing it from him either way. Zach and I are talking about going out there. Oh fuck, we can't go out there on. I forgot. 14th Valentine's Day, so I'm not going out to Kansas City next week. That's Valentine's Day. I don't have a
Valentine's
death wish.
Day's what? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
middle
5,
of the week.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days away.
Yeah. So we were originally Cyrus from Texas is going to be in Kansas City for work the middle of that week, and we were talking about he was running training on the 14th, and I'm like, Zach and I wanted to go, but I don't have a death wish. So if they do it like the 15th, I'll do it.
Yeah, you do have a death wish, just not with this person.
No, my wife knows where my guns are, and they're easily accessible and typically loaded.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I don't want to be shot. Like, bedroom or battlefield, not to a 12 gauge or my 9mm. Like, no, that's painful.
Yeah.
Take me out with a 2-handed axe or a heart attack. One of the two. Those two I'm okay with.
Yeah. But
Okay.
all right, everybody,
Bud.
whoever's still watching, have a good night. Schwartz, I appreciate all the pictures you sent me and
anytime, man.
helping me with today's chit chat.
Yeah, you have a good night, dude.
You as well, and everybody else, have a great night and a good weekend.